new Zoom is classic. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Looking for this school. Okay, so let's do our little recap here. Last session, you guys essentially succeeded. You had come to Mount Olympus to save Zeus so that he might reclaim Mount Olympus and bring the gods back to the major power that it once was in Greece. And succeed you have. You absconded into the vault, snuck your way around Titans, freed Zeus, kicked some ass, and now you're partying. To be specific about the partying, I believe Alicia had some words with Aphrodite about her potential alliance and asking her about things to come. Well, you just kind of been around here and there in this sort of, just kind of, the gods are just kind of uniting and partying and having a good frenzy about it. Are excited to once again be back on top of the mountain and Howard. There was a time where Mount Olympus was called impenetrable, but it seems that time has passed. But luckily, they've come out on top regardless. So, and that's generally the summary, the relevant summary. So my question is, let me just go do a double check my calendar real quick. Yeah, that's all. So what would you all like to do this session? The Titans on the mountain have been swathed away, your enemies defeated, you are back on top. What would you like to do?
First things first, at a party with the gods, Alicia will be going to Dionysus, who she believes is the god of wine, and getting the best drink she can find.
You go to Dionysus, you see this god bound in red linens, I guess. I need to start there working on my fashion words. But red tunic linens, a lot of skin revealed with subtle markings to express his divine lineage. He bears a goblet of gold. He has in one hand a staff with what looks to be like a metal pine cone at the top. He's got jewels, he's got grapevines in his hair. He has sort of a madness to his eye, in his purple eyes. And he looks at you and goes, "Oh, wow, I like you. You came here, you could have fucking died immediately. But no, look at you, you smart, courageous person, you. What, you wine? Of course you do." And he'll snap his finger, and you'll find sort of into existence a kylix, which is essentially like a drinking bowl with various beautiful ornate designs around the side, and then it will fill itself of a purplish rich liquid that you expect is a grape wine. You've heard of grape wine before. We'll go on.
It feels like, you know, clearly the most fun of the gods. She's gonna take a sip, and how does it taste?
It tastes divine. What other word am I supposed to use? It is certainly the finest beverage to have ever passed your lips. It is full, it is rich, it's fruity, not too dry. It is the epitome of fine wine. This is certainly the nicest thing to ever pass your lips. What is your con modifier?
Oh, modifier. Plus the 20, so plus 5.
Damn, man. Which means you can have 5 drinks before you have to start rolling for intoxication.
Did I just finish a drink, or was it just a sip?
Just a sip. You decide when you want to drink your drinks. It's your character.
She'll drink on and off. Like she'll take another sip. As time goes on, it'll go back down. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dionysus, correct?
That is my name, though I expect I'm known by something else by your people. I remember that you were all about the name calling. Mind you, I wasn't too big into the war at the time. I had just been thoroughly cursed by my father's wife.
I think it's feels like does that Zeus's wife, does that happen a lot? I've heard it happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
It happens a lot? How much does it happen?
A lot.
Feels like what sure, a lot, or just a lot?
Like, this much.
That much, truly.
Because, oh, you wouldn't believe, there's scarcely been a child born of Zeus who didn't get like a little kick in the ass. And you're not even safe if you're not if you're trueborn. Hephaestus got thrown off the mountain immediately because he was too ugly for Hera.
No.
Yeah, she's a real fucking bitch.
Like
We wouldn't have her any other way.
what did you just say?
But we wouldn't have her any other way. He screamed it very
Because
loud.
I'm sure the Queen of the Gods is a dignified and a magnanimous individual.
If Zeus has anything to say about it. I mean, we really like her. We really like her.
He's saying this stuff, not me. I'm a diplomat right now. Like
Yes, you are.
it's like so Dionysus.
That's me.
Would you prefer Lord Dionysus? Do you insist on that, or
For us, I prefer a strong red at the end of the day, but you can call me Dionysus.
that Dionysus it is? Give me the lowdown on. Maybe you could. I'm new here, so maybe you could help me explain some things between the gods.
You're the lowdown. Are you coming on to me, lady?
First, well, first of all, I would be honored. You're very handsome. Second of all, you seem very knowledgeable and love to well wine lets the lips go flow quicker freely, don't they? More freely.
Thicker and freely, that's true.
Freely.
Other things make lips more thick, but freely, sure, certainly.
Freely
Well,
is what I meant.
I'm usually quite drunk, so I like to think my lips are quite thick and free. What is it that exactly you want? You want the lowdown, and apparently this isn't anything to do with what Aphrodite likes. So tell me, what do you want to know?
Well, like why? First of all, why are the first of all, why are there two gods of war? I've heard Athena and Ares are gods of war.
Oh,
Which
that one's easy. You see, Ares, he's more like me. Imagine me going to war. It's fucking madness, right? So that's Ares, really, and Athena is the more like before you go into battle, where everything makes sense and you come up with a great. When you're sitting there with your friends and you need to do something very important, and there's many challenges to be had, and you start talking with your friends, strategizing, tactics, making up great plans, and that's Athena, right? And then when you go in and all the plans get thrown out the window and you just start killing everything in sight, that's Ares.
so so Athena is the goddess of battle plans, and Ares is the god of bloodlust, perhaps.
That's a great way of thinking about it.
I, s- I see, but I see. Another. I
Another
see.
snaps his fingers and a second Kylix appears in your other hand.
In my other hand,
Yeah, you've got two Kylixes now, one.
thing. Would you like one?
Yes, of course he takes one, he drinks it.
It feels like a remarkable gift, I've been told.
Re-gifted immediately, I'm told.
She takes another sip. Another thing. Athena and Ares. I also believe Apollo and Artemis are siblings, correct?
Oh yeah, they high-five each other on the way in and out, night and day,
It's like makes sense. I was told Artemis was a virgin.
By who?
Stories.
Well, you would be right, and to say otherwise would just be probably untrue.
I see. I see.
Are you
I
asking if she's bangable, Alicia?
feels like Feels like I would never make a move on someone who
Because let me be
doesn't.
very clear. My
Somewhere
word.
on Olympus, Silenos' neck just like breaks.
He didn't fall off. Dude. He says, Alicia, and like throws his arm around you and says, let me talk to you for a minute. And like draws you over to the side and says, I don't know how it works where you come from, but the word virgin is a very specific meaning around here, alright? Now, to lose your virginity requires both a man and a woman, you know, to do that and fun.
The thing and the bees, birds and the bees, and I've heard it all.
Exactly. If it were, say, you know, just two ladies, just two men, that doesn't count.
It's not that doesn't happen often.
According to
Doesn't
who?
But your point? I'm sorry.
Point being is, yes, she's a virgin, but that doesn't mean that. Well, I shouldn't be talking about this, but I'm going to anyway.
Well,
Rumor is that, let's just say there's a reason why she only lets ladies into her hunters' tribes.
I see.
Mm.
Interesting.
Animals will get mauled to death by their dogs, but ladies get lost in the woods and they find a bow in their hands and maybe something else.
Interesting. So you just to re. I'm sorry to bother you with so many of these questions.
You're not, but please continue.
What I know the eldest of the gods are Zeus, Poseidon, of the Lord of the Seas, and Hades, the Ghost King. Correct?
Wrong!
Oh, I'm wrong.
Yes, you're very wrong. The oldest of us happens to actually, oh fuck, is Hestia. Hestia is the oldest of us. Zeus is actually, well, we're talking about generations here. Zeus is my father. But if we're talking about the original Olympians, Poseidon, Hera, Zeus, Demeter, Hestia, and Hades, are the original Olympians, and Hestia would be counted amongst the oldest and Zeus the youngest.
So Zeus is the youngest among his siblings,
That's right, he was the only one who didn't get the bite snap from old grandpa.
as I've been told. But what? Sorry. I'm sure that as the god, does having the youngest be the being well the head of the table here, does that cause friction between him and his other siblings at all?
Of course, this is Olympus! The place is built on friction.
I suppose so. So is that why Hades has not joined us?
Hades hasn't joined us because, well, his domain, you see, down in the underworld, the thing you gotta understand is that it's held on to the power of Kronos for so very long, the time's a little loopy down there. So, you see, a couple of days up here might be a couple of years down there, and so on and so forth. It's very hard to make birthday parties.
It sounds maddening.
I
I mean, you should know, of course. You're an expert in that.
was probably there spinning your wheel when you decided to come here.
Oh, well, wait, you were down there?
And when?
I'm sorry, I misheard you. I'm sorry.
That's a-
So how many? So are you? I know Zeus is your father.
Yep.
Is Hera your mother?
No.
How many of his children here are his children?
Not many. Very, very few, in fact. I'm pretty sure it's just Ares and Hephaestus, and they don't even like each other that much.
Just like Hephaestus. Only Ares and Hephaestus are Zeus's and Hera's actual children here.
You gotta hand it to Hera. She, may go a little batty at first, but eventually she comes to terms with it. Over and over and over and over and over again.
Immortality. Feels like immortality must take a toll on all. Must take a toll.
What kind of toll?
I'm sorry. It just. I take that back. I withdraw that comment. I'm sorry.
Can you just withdraw a comment? It's out there now.
So, well, then she just takes another drink. I believe there are beyond the larger gods. There are also smaller gods, correct?
Smaller gods? No one's small. There's no small parts in a play. There's only small actors, right? That's what they say, but they're wrong.
That's what they say.
There are gods that are less cool or as powerful as the rest of us. There's Olympians and there's other gods, and there's even a couple titans that we like enough to have hang around.
What are the more notable non-famous Olympians I should be aware of?
Where do I begin? There's so very many. You'll just start listing off. I'm like, I'm not even going to do it because A, I'm not that good, and B, I'm going to mean anything to Alicia anyway, but he just starts going off and rambling off a list of names. Yeah, without any context, he just starts going like, da 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 da, and gets to about like, he's like 20 names in before he's like, are you keeping up?
I'm doing my best, but thank you again so much. And she takes another drink. So Hestia is a god of the hearth and home.
Yes.
Oh, she sounds lovely.
Yes, but she's not a true Olympian, or at least she doesn't sit on the council.
Why not?
He doesn't want to. Can you imagine? Who would not want to talk to us?
It's like that would be difficult. That's difficult to believe. I'll believe, sir.
Imagine it. I'm on the council and she's not. What is the price of membership these days anyway?
Strange, I know.
It seems like Nick Chaos who gets to be on the council and who doesn't.
Strange, very strange. What? Nemesis is the goddess of vengeance.
Uh-huh.
Heket is the goddess of witchcraft, correct?
Hecate is the goddess of witchcraft. What kind of things? Paths? More witchcraft. Looking spooky.
Spooky shit.
Spooky shits.
Sounds like a lovely domain.
That's a known fact. She actually really likes strawberries. She's also this lesser goddess of strawberry.
I asked because I've met her daughter Katara.
Isn't she just a fucking crack to talk to? She's wonderful.
Oh, she's such a dear.
Yes.
I also
know that she's currently lost her mind. I'm so proud of her.
It seems I've heard there are others. I know there's this Pan fellow, but also Hercules became a god.
Achilles didn't become a god. He's down low, but yes.
I thought Hercules. I'm sorry.
Hercules did indeed become a god. I think he might be around here, or maybe he's still holding the sky up on his shoulders. Who knows? But I can tell you this: Pan's around here. He's good fun. He's about as crazy as I am.
What is it about? What is it? What exactly is he the god of?
Shepherding, wild nature, savagery. Some might even argue, animal lust.
Well, what's the opinion about him and the others?
Well, the opinion about him lately is that he's alive, which is a surprise to many. We thought he died quite a while ago, but he didn't.
Is he known to just run off like that?
Well, most gods are. Not when Zeus says to, though. When Zeus says that people get in line, he's mean.
I'm sure he's insistent on that point.
Who knows what would happen if Zeus were gone? Nothing would get done.
Sounds like. Who would be in charge if Zeus left? Never chose to leave one day.
Well, if you're to ask the rest of the gods, apparently all of your friends. They kind of kept us on the right track, these Demithots, fun name.
It is an amusing name.
Yes.
I'm not sure how they came up with it.
In there, it's that one.
Mm-hmm. So, I see, and how often do the gods that interact with their half-human children?
Well, depends on the god.
That's true, I suppose. Yes, it is. Right up.
Not at all. In Ouroboros' case, at least a couple dozen times.
What is? It feels like. Do you have any idea how many demigods are out there?
You're asking me how many times we gods have put our dicks in somebody. There's quite a few. So, I can't say entirely. I don't think everyone's ever kept exact count, except of course Aphrodite. She keeps track of every time someone bones.
I'm sure it must be exhausting.
I asked them about that once.
Well, yeah, throws back more of a. She throws back more of a. Alicia throws back more of a drink and just kind of finishes off of. Oh, some help, my Dionysus, please.
Help?
My drink's empty.
Hello. Make a con save.
A con save? Okay.
You like look down, and as the wine fills up, you realize that there's 5 kilixes sitting on the ground, empty kilixes sitting on the ground.
Wait, 5 cups?
Yeah, and this as the 6th one fills, I need to make a con save.
Uh-oh. That's more than I expected. 24.
24. You're not drunk yet.
Not yet. Interesting. So, demigods go their whole lives without knowing their godly parents?
Some not, some so.
Themselves?
Some so.
Do you have any children down there?
Yes, I had one. He knew all of them, but he died. He was drowned. What if
Sorry.
he wanted one of my children to go?
Dionysus, I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
He was drowned. It's terrible.
Yes, I suppose so. I don't know what it's like to die, but it's what mortals do best.
She just sighs, and just takes another drink about that. All right. Link.
Make another con save.
Oh, 14.
14. You're okay. You're
Mhm.
okay for now.
Do all gods do all gods remember all their children? Can they clock them on sites?
Oh, we have such long memories. We forget things at times, but we're always reminded. Every mistake has its payment, mortal or god.
For example, well, here's an example. And I'm sorry for taking so much of your time, Dionysus, but
All the time in the world is your time. It's limited.
well, technically true. Imagine if you would, you're in your disguise down on the mortal realm, among these cities I've heard so much about. Athens, I've heard of. You're walking down the streets. Would you know? And you see a stranger across it. Could you tell if that person was your half human child?
Yes.
Really? Just as easily like that?
The eyes of a god see much. Like, for instance, I can see the Gorgon. Or part of him.
Truly.
Yeah, look at you.
It's that obvious.
That's what God is.
Is it a smell or about me or
We'll lean in close and go. Oh yes, there's definitely a smell.
I see. I see. Of course, it's a smell. She just. Well, Dionysus, thank you very much. You've given me quite a bit to think about. And one last thing. Demeter, she's the goddess of harvest and the grain, correct?
Grown for farming, harvest, all that stuff.
Feels like, but it's different than nature.
No. Well, you would know, wouldn't you?
No, yeah. Well, yes, I suppose they are separate things when I think about them. Well, thank you very much, Lord Dionysus. You've given me a lot to think about, and she throws back another glass.
Roll me a con save.
23.
Wait, you're doing okay. You're doing okay, but you do feel yourself like you start to feel a little tingle at the end of your fingers, but nothing that you would call like drunkenness.
Like how many? I forgot. Like how many How many cups are like at the bottom of my feet again? I forgot. Oh my lord, I forgot. Oh my guy, I've forgotten all about these. Who should I hand these to? As I've noticed they're all on the floor.
Whatever you want.
Well, if I guess someone will pick these up, I suppose. Thank you, thank you again, Dionysus. If I need a refill, I'll come to find you. I'll know where to look.
Wisdom saving throw.
Uh, can I have one for the road?
Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw? 30.
Uh, yeah. He pours you another one, and he just sort of wanders away.
She takes another sip. What am I gonna do? Oh, he's gonna know me the more. Like, instantly now, at least he knows the moment Pan sees her, he's gonna know, like, she's his kid.
You see Dionysus walking towards Pan.
It! Like, like, she takes another drink.
They're like talking, Dionysus like pointing at you.
Like, she walks away, she begins walking away and keeps drinking casually.
Alright, fantastic. Is there anything? What about who else has
Uh,
stuff?
I'll give everyone else temperatures. Can I do one last saving throw?
We'll move on. We'll come back around to you. There'll be plenty of opportunity.
Okay, they're good. Anyone else?
So who else? Thalia, Silenos, Gyasi, you guys have anything you want to do?
I very specifically have nothing I want to do.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I started off this party by pouring water all over it.
Fair enough.
And I'm on Nemesis's shit list, so I'm just looking for any quiet corner. That's where I'm staying.
Just keeping your head down. Fair enough. Fair enough. We go Thalia. We go Silenos.
I guess I'll.
Okay. Where is she? Where is she? She's probably out here, as last we saw her. Yeah, she's out here. She's just kind of, as a beautiful woman does, is just sort of like wistfully like looking off into the sunset, and her hair's swaying in the wind, very, soap opera-y. And you will find your way to her, and as you approach, in her usual godly way, her size will almost shrink and become more personal the closer you get. So you're right there with her, and she looks into your eyes with her great pink, gleaming, inviting eyes, and says, "Hello, darling."
Hi, Mother. So, I made a mistake.
Okay.
I asked Athena for a boon when I should have asked you. I was put on the spot by Zeus, and I thought I came up with something good, but really, I should have taken a moment to think it over because I had another idea.
I see.
Well, you know how I can inform my friends and give them their own small boon in times of need?
Yes. Okay, that's sure.
Yeah. And I'd like to make that stronger somehow. It doesn't go far enough in the battles that we face now.
She thinks for herself, and she will. What's the original boon you received?
Resistance, wisdom, resistance.
She'll sort of smile, and she'll kind of like look into the room and kind of very quietly like say, soon enough Dionysus just arrives. He goes, "Wow, I'm popular today. What is it I could do?" She goes, "Well, you see, my daughter has received a boon from a queen, and she doesn't want it anymore. Could you?" He goes, "Oh, of course." And he's going to lean in really close to you, Thalia, and he's going to say something in your ear, and you, Sarai, will not know what that is, but Thalia will know what it is, and it will be so mind-bogglingly, maddeningly strange. Some secret of the universe or some philosophical explanation to things that you could never fathom. So incomprehensible as it is that it actually breaks your mind a little bit. Only a wisdom saving throw after losing that one. Roll me a D100. As he says this to you, you start seeing vivid hallucinations. You start seeing all kinds of things. You start seeing like the titans, like the various titans in the party. You see the sun getting larger as if it's coming to consume you. You see like Leonis like dancing in circles around Valerie, and like you just start like kind of losing it in that moment as you're in this deep hallucination.
Mother, I asked for help, not for whatever this is.
She'll look at Dionysus and go, Dionysus? And you go, oh no, I broke her. Give her like a minute, she'll be fine. Like, give her a minute? He's like, yeah, give her a minute. Maybe 10. I'm kind of good at taking away mine, not giving it back.
Di's gonna duck as she thinks like the sun's coming at her.
Yeah, you just like fall, you just like go to the ground as the sun's coming at you. And like Apollo will just like be walking by and be like,
Leave me alone!
yeah, you know, you're like, what? I didn't do anything. Like, you see Dionysus and goes, oh. You just like turn around and walk away. And you see like the sun starts to like go black, a huge eclipse comes over the horizon. The sun shrouded out and the moon rises and like consumes it, like eats it, like opens a mouth and like eats the sun. And after 1 minute, you're very lucky. After 60 seconds, the hallucinations all just sort of fade away. But the damage to your mind will remain whilst you're through this river.
Dionysus, what the fuck?
What about it?
She'll just sigh and kind of cross her arms and turn slightly away from Dionysus, giving him the cold shoulder.
He goes, oh, but you didn't like what you saw? I can make it better next time. And you'll just kind of be like, that's a challenge, I accept it. And he will just kind of prance away happily as he's going to find your next roses. And Athena says, well, he's a charming. Anyway.
No, he's really not, Mother.
Oh, don't be so quick to judge Thalia. He is lovely.
You have better taste than that.
You have better taste than that. He's the god of wine. And would be next with that ecstasy. Now, she will take your hand, give you just this gentle, nice kiss, beautiful hand, and she whispers, I bless you. 100 pounds for and I'm going to make you something for it. But going forward, your emboldening bond will reach 120 feet and will be worth D8 going forward.
Oh, boy. Okay, cool. 120?
Yeah, or you could just mark it down if that's easier. If you put it down in your spell or your feature, whatever. I can make it for you.
D8, cool.
D8. Okay.
I'm gonna use it right now.
You bind yourself to your mother, and you're taking it back in this moment. I assume you are, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aphrodite. Who else is within 120 feet of me?
Roll me a D10. Fun enough, you know. You think it's very cute. Walking by, you see her, and she just kind of like goes.
That's when I'll set off my holding bomb.
In this moment, you're surprised and overwhelmed by the power that you press upon Nina and Aphrodite.
Yeah.
It is obviously twice as powerful. You feel this is just like a bond of fellowship that you this bond of compassion and common interest. This is like a deep loving bond. This isn't like an unbroken bond. And Athena goes to stop, she kind of blinks a couple times, and finds herself like drawn. She'll come to talk to you with Aphrodite and say,
The pleasure's all mine, Athena. Thank you for your boon earlier today.
she like looks at you, kind of grabs her brow, and like looks at Aphrodite. And Aphrodite just kind of like smiles at her and just kind of like looks away because since they don't like each other very much. But not in this moment. In this moment, they're like looking at, they're kind of checking each other out. And Athena says, "If I may, all of our fates were in your hands, Thalia, and you held everyone together enough that our plan worked. I admire that."
I mean, thank you. Thank you.
I would say I admire your wisdom.
I'm sure you all know I've learned from tribute myself to you. She's and Thalia is uncharacteristically nervous. I probably did a good job.
No, you're good.
But
And Aphrodite's like looking between the two of you, like just kind of smiling, like looking genuinely happy that you two are getting along. It's like when your like best friend meets your like I don't know, you're like your two worlds come together. Your friend from school and your friend from home meet each other, and you're just so happy they're getting along. And Athena is the goddess of wisdom. And in this moment, she kind of like looks at Aphrodite and looks at you and goes, just kind of smiles at you and nods her head, and walks away.
what was that? Can I insight check?
Yeah, insight check. Yeah, go for it.
I got a crit, but I want to add my D8 because I can.
Okay, fair enough. What's that, 29?
Yeah.
Oh, close.
I got 37.
37? You are well aware, like, Athena is the goddess of wisdom and is very conscious, very aware. And she recognized that she was under the influence of Aphrodite in that moment. And that's what Aphrodite does. She goes around and she just like snaps her fingers at different people and they fall in love. And Athena is determined to not be her puppet and walks away.
I love to watch you go too.
Make a persuasion check.
26. Plus a D.
Plus a D8.
I got me. So 34.
34. She kind of stops and just kind of like, almost like a little like adjustment of the hair. And she turns around and smiles at you. And she like looks like she's going to say something, but she kind of like catches herself, like almost like gritting her teeth and kind of like continues to leave. But I'll say passive insight wise, she's essentially in this moment fighting her feelings, but you can't deny.
Yeah. Ooh. Mother, she's quite the woman.
Yes.
Is it that you say beauty is in the eye of the beholder? She just gets me so tongue-tied. I don't know what it is, but I get a little flustered around Athena.
Smiles at you, a big smile, as surely you both know that power comes from her. Um, and she says, she kind of like takes your arm and she says, so tell me, is there anyone else who's caught your eye?
Valerie has heart and Niobe. You remember Niobe? She asked me to stay with her in the Amazons. Yes. I'm working my way back to the man of my dreams.
Says, oh, you have been Valerie. Well, I feel the onus is touching here, if that's not. He doesn't know what to do with all this love.
I'll show her.
No.
I'm the best. And she'll kind of like, I don't know, take her mom's arm and maybe stroll the gardens and enjoy her company.
Yeah, and you guys will stroll for a little while longer, maybe have some wine, sip some wine. It would be a crime to not partake in such wine as what Dionysus produces. And yeah, you guys just stroll for a bit and talk and chat. You get the gods.
Mhm.
Maybe you get from her, realize that the current ground is with the gods. Silenos, is there anything for you, my friend?
Yes, two things. Well, one and then maybe a B, depending on how it goes. Silenos is gonna go visit the Fates.
Hey, alright, you take off. You're gonna go find the fates.
And depending on how it goes, he's gonna eye Dionysus's wine stash as he makes his way over there. And if it goes horribly, that's where he'll end up.
Okay, so you are gonna go find the fates. You. Wait, walk your way to the fates. And you find your way within. The doors are already open, expecting you. You enter within. You will have communion with the fates, the old hag, the middle-aged motherly woman, and the young maiden. All come to you as you see the various mass, almost tapestry-like, various colored strings and yarns. Here and there they are. And you all come into contact with the fate. All in unison they will say, "Man, walks in the dark."
Silenos will just, as he walks up, he'll look to each of them and just say, hello. I'm glad to see Fate is safe. Uh, might I ask you some questions?
They're, working away on their yarns, but you have their rapt attention.
Cool. I've accepted power, as surely you know, and it has garnered many different reactions. And though I don't see, I can feel. I wonder, should I be fearful of betrayal?
They raise their heads and think themselves. Say,
Sorry, just turn your head. I just can't hear you as much.
you fear betrayal. Who?
The forces I accepted power to protect. I fear that that power is too much of a target.
One of the three fates, the motherly one, starts moving along the various yarns, and she starts to think through all of them. In the end, she will say, "You dwell in darkness. You gain the power to protect those you care for. From the darkness itself, no one can home. Is but shadow. She does not discriminate. And she is not attacked. Those who use the power, but be warned, child of Artemis. To use this power of darkness, know that you are in touch with a power that even Zeus fears. As they come to understand what you're becoming, Silenos, they will not be God on Olympus, who will not fear your power. Beware, for fear can cause disaster.
What might this power peak to? Or is it the fear that the power is limitless?
It will be, if she'll come to the end of the yarn, and she'll expose your yarn, this like long green yarn, and you'll see that it sort of splits, the threads split. It says, "You have two fates before you, for none can be taken back. You are too far down the path now, Silenos. In order to go back, you have to embrace one of two paths in the days and weeks and months to come. You'll like go down one piece of yarn, and you'll see the yarn slowly fades and fades and fades, but it is strong and taut, as if it were connected to something. Even we cannot see past the end of this, Silenos, for you will become one with shade and shadow and darkness. What happens then is beyond even our eyes. Your fate, for we cast it long ago, it has since been drenched in the darkness that obscures even our sight. Continue down this path to Nyx. Means the fading from you, from all things mortal or God. Maybe you'll be conscious. Maybe you will not. Maybe you will not. Maybe you will simply become one of the many shades that are Nyx. We cannot tell. Path that not even we can foretell. On the other hand, they take the other piece of yarn, and you see that yarn begins to glow and glow brightly with purple. It says, but here, Silenos, here is the other fate. You embrace the gods. Embrace what they want you to become. You accept their power and all that they are. And join them in trust. And in them, you will have allies. Like any god, they have allies for all time. And each gone an immortal path. One where fear may raise up. Mortality would be an acceptance of loyalty. This is what we know. The gods or the darkness. You can only take one of two paths.
Yes, Silenos, he won't even say anything anymore. He'll just look to them and just nod. And that's kind of what he thought. And he will just nod and think to himself. And he will put his cloak on as he's walking through Olympus, steal literally a barrel of wine, and he'll walk with the barrel over the cloak. And then he's gonna find a tree to just and get smashed.
Attaboy. Alright, no problems there. That's what's happening. The party news will commence. You guys will all find yourself sipping the wine, drinking the wine, and all of these things you need to achieve and important conversations you need to have with important gods fade into rust. Gyasi, you find a nice place to lay your head and hide away from the festivities and those who may do you harm or have bad feelings. You find a nice tree towards where your father's home is, or maybe further away, wherever you go. But you find yourself still restlessly. Maybe the bathhouse that are always made open to the mortal guests of Olympus. But Silenos and Gyasi and Thalia, as it is, when you go out for just one drink, you find yourself under the festive ecstasy that is the consuming of Dionysus' wine, and the nights will turn into frivolous joy that will then turn into a lack of memory, which will then turn into sleep. All of you will arise the next morning with a long rest under your wing, and maybe a headache or two. Festivities you would need night.
Like, would I have a headache?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, you? Yeah.
Oh, but
You-
you don't have a solution for this thing?
Yeah, you got that wine hangover too, because it's so sugary. So you're like, it's not the best, and you're thirsty. The point is that somehow you all found yourselves escorted, or maybe you escorted yourselves, to the bathhouses of Olympus, where you mortals are meant to dwell while on Olympus. So, waking up in restful quarters, which is good.
Alicia wakes up in an unfamiliar spot, is confused from the recovering from her headache, and then remembers, oh right, I'm on Olympus. Shit, I'm on Olympus.
As you say that, you will find yourself come to by a goddess in long, beautiful white linen, with a red cloak and shawl, bearing a small bowl with flame in it. And she will say, "Good morning." She goes, "Oh, good morning. Would you like to have some biscuits this morning,
Um,
dear?"
yes, yes, actually, that actually sounds quite good.
All right, here. I just freshly baked these, and she'll take out some delicious smelling like biscuits and cookies, a variety tray. It's like pastry. Have as many as you like.
It's like she Alicia just takes them all off.
She looks so happy. You took all of them. It's like grandma when you show up, and she's like, "You look so thin." That's like her
Thank
whole.
you.
And you take them all, and she's delighted you.
Th- th- Thank you, my lady. Wait. So you are you wait. I know the name. The name. I know. Oh. Alicia's thinking of Hesta, correct?
Oh no, darling, my name is Hestia, but close.
Well, thank you very much. Does Dionysus's wine? Does it always leave this effect on you? Is it always that sugary?
All wine does, dear. All wine does.
I suppose so. How?
Probably have some water. You need your electrolytes, and she'll give you like some Gatorade. No, she gives you water.
Thank you. How did I get here again? Where is here?
Oh, you're staying in the bathhouses of Olympus. We've made them available to the Demithots when they arrive here. I made sure that you all got into a comfy place last night once you were done with your partying and your revelry. So, don't worry about a thing. All of your things are in your room, right over there. Just point to the room.
Well, thank you again. Thank you again. Hopefully we could properly greet each other another time. I'm Alicia of the Archdruid of the Circle of the Moon. Th th
I'm the goddess of the.
Thank you again for the food. And she's gonna run. Alicia's gonna run up and check in her room to see if, like, oh yeah, oh wait, her staff. Yeah, is that in there? You just remember that's.
Things, as promised, are not only there, but neatly folded, nicely placed, freshly laundered. All this.
Oh, oh, impressive. As if Alicia's still getting used to this mortal, human, godly world stuff, you know?
Yeah, this is very far beyond your perception of things. All very-
Um, does she sense any changes to her staff?
No, you pick it up. Always it's ever been. You feel the attunement, you plus feel its qualities. It's as it's never been.
Okay, good. Well, okay,
Not right.
All right, good.
okay. Alicia's then gonna look for Valerie. She's she's also now gonna remember Valerie. Like, wait, where did she go? I lost track of her last night.
Where do you go looking for Valerie?
Roll what? I'm sorry.
Where do you go looking for Valerie?
Investigation, I suppose.
Sure, maybe an investigation of the house, see if you can find Valerie.
Oh, 18.
Valerie, you awaken to the sound of your door opening very harshly. As your head hurts and the sun's blaring through, and Alicia, you see Valerie and Thalia laying in one of the beds together.
Oh.
Well dressed.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. And she closes the door again.
Yeah, you close the door. They don't really probably notice you at first because they're too busy. Like the shock of waking up is too extreme. But Thalia, you wake up and you hear like a sorry, and you're like, oh, maybe go back to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave them. I'm gonna leave them be for like the next hour and just wait down there for them all to get back to wake up.
Yeah, you go downstairs and wait, and maybe like 10 minutes later, Valerie, with very rosy, embarrassed cheeks and all of her clothes back on, walks out. It sort of tiptoes out.
Like,
Seeing it.
feels like enjoy. Have a good. You enjoying the mortal world? I see.
We're not in the mortal world yet, Alicia.
Immortal one at least. Well, the immortal one. I share the stuff Hestia gave me. Here, try this.
Yeah, she like has like a little bite of one. She's like, wow, it's like really good. And she has like another. She's like, fucking, it happened again. I don't even know how. It just kind of happens.
And she has that effect on people, it seems.
Yeah, she said she wanted to like try something. She had like a new boon. She wanted to try it on me, and then that's the last thing I remember.
Seems to have walked. What? I spoke with the mother last night. Yes, of Aphrodite, the lover.
Oh, her mom. Oh gods. She starts like nervously playing with her hair. She's like, did she say anything about me?
Not that I know of. You didn't come up with the conversation.
Oh.
I thought that was a conversation her and Thalia would have, but either way, we spoke. I gave my thanks on behalf of myself as well as all the druids for the aid she gave us.
Very cool. Very cool of you.
And we also spoke about Ryan, remind me, what did Aphrodite say about the portal, the back door to Olympus?
He said that she had no interest in telling the other gods that it exists because probably raised some very awkward questions as to why she has a portal to the lands of Gaia in the middle of her gardens.
Yeah.
She's very much. I have no intention of telling anybody about it. Is basically my position.
we I suggest we just leave that part out for now,
Um, sure.
and we'll figure out what to say later. And um, I also asked her advice about how to convince Zeus to be more cooperative. I can hear you, Ryan. What'd you say?
What did you come up with?
Um, she certainly had an idea of how to. She said that the druids are very wise people and full of wisdom, but Zeus did not often heed wisdom of others, no matter how good it may be. And she suggested another course through, how do I say this? Um, through passion.
Passion. Oh. Oh. What? Really?
No, no, it's and she suggested that, how do I say this?
You're gonna try to sleep with him?
No, what? No, no, what? No,
I'm putting two.
what do you think I am? What do you think of? Is that what you really think of me? No, please.
More people than I think in all the lands of Gaia.
I first of all, the lines of Gaia have been around thousands of years. I'm sure there's someone with a larger body count than me. Second of all,
Put it this way, like, as far as like volume for time, if that's our calculus, I mean, you're probably up there.
like, either way, but no. She she talked about how he had his Zeus had his eye on someone else.
Okay.
And how she could perhaps convince him.
Okay. Who are you talking about?
Uh, Alicia just kind of gives her a look and looks up at Thalia's door and looks
Oh,
back at it.
what? No way. She would never.
I know, it's relations between the Olympians are strange.
That's horrible.
I know, but Aphrodite has known Zeus much longer than any of us.
There's got to be another way. There must be. It's also another god. Maybe.
I can consult with the others, perhaps. I've heard of the deceiver, I mean, Athena. Still getting used to that, but Athena might have a suggestion, perhaps. But it's a possibility we may need to consider. Just don't tell the others yet about this.
Of course not. Are you considering it?
No, I mean,
Considering
not
it?
not immediately. No,
Maybe I mean, so you are.
I was like, we're trying.
You're gonna throw her there like a piece of meat?
I was like, like, look, it's not my preferred plan.
So let's pick another one.
Yes, let's try finding another one, but just try to figure one out before we call in one here.
Good. I'm glad we're in agreement about this.
I know. I do not tell Thalia, please.
I wasn't going to.
Good, thank you, please.
Because that's crazy.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but.
Weird.
And I also spoke with Dionysus last night. He has very good wine, I will say.
I know. It was very good. I'll give him that.
Yes. Uh, I went through 5 cups so quickly I didn't even realize it. It's
Weird. You just suddenly it's like you're at the bottom of your cup and you didn't even know you drank any of it.
I know, but no, things are strange here. I spoke with them. I learned a few things about the gods, about demigods, and how not only is my father here, but when he sees me, he will know that I'm his child.
Which one was it? Which one was he?
The
Oh,
Pan.
all seem to very specifically be.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Ryan.
Which one was it? They're very specific. But they all seem to be like holding very specific items.
It was the God of the Wilds, Pan.
Yeah, I knew that. Oh, he's the one who looks like Silenos, right?
No, he's the one. No, Artemis is Sanos's mother. Pan is. Pan is like.
It's like Silenos and the horns and everything.
Oh, I think. Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I saw him. He was.
The moment. Valerie, what am I going to do? Like the moment he sees me, he's going to know I'm his daughter.
You should go talk to him and get the sense of him. That's what you're here for, isn't it? Isn't why you came?
I suppose, but look. For the love by Gaia.
Yeah, Alicia. I'm sorry, but you gotta get a backbone here. You gotta go talk to him. That's why you're here. You're beating around the bush. What do you want to happen? You want him to read your mind and come to you? Then just walk by him, I guess.
I don't like. What do I even say to him? I don't know. I don't even know how I would react if I ran into him. Like if I spoke with him. Like he's.
Well, if you don't want to know how he's gonna react, then what are we doing here?
I suppose. You're right. I know, but just. This is. By Gaia.
Kind of like pats you on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, I may be like fully enthralled by this woman I met a couple days ago and just can't seem to keep my clothes on, but you're in more trouble than I am, it seems like.
Yeah. You have fewer problems than I do, at the moment at least.
We'll see about that. Hopefully the
Oh.
guy's wanting to kill us or something.
Well, race to the bottom, I'd say. Well, come on. I know I've met the goddess Hestia. She has amazing cookies. Come on, let's go get more of them.
Okay.
Let's wait for the others to come down.
And we'll say at this time, you guys, maybe Gyasi, Rose, you're not as wine stricken. Silenos, you wake up under your tree, my guy. You're just like, you just wake up over there. There's your head's hurting.
Oh, Silenos is sweaty as hell. He has like the lines on his arms. He definitely has like the keg like broken, like he fell out of the tree and landed on it. And all of his fur's matted. And you'll just see him stumble back. And he's gonna look pretty glum. And he will just eat breakfast.
Yeah, you come wandering back, and Valerie's like, "Hey, who's that? What's that over there?"
Oh.
I don't know. Sort of comes back like a satyr a little bit.
Oh, it's okay. That's Silenos.
Oh, I didn't look at him for a second.
Like all people look like that when they're drunk in the morning after.
I don't know. Hi, Silenos.
Blind eyes just turn over. And then he casts darkness around himself.
Oh, okay.
We can still smell you.
Yep.
Cue the darkness running and just sitting in the middle of the pool.
Yeah, the darkness just like reroutes and just. It's funny because it's just like an orb, just like this like very like it doesn't change at all.
Yeah. And then yeah, it'll just drop and he'll just be in the shallow end, and somehow he's gotten food on the side of the pool and he's just eating breakfast.
Got your sunglasses on, you're on the water lounger thing.
Yeah.
That's some words. Yes, you awaken, and maybe Gyasi too.
Thalia, you look uh 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 how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Well, I had a lovely evening, great company, and she'll wink at Valerie.
And Valerie will just kind of like look. She'll just be like really upset about her awkwardness.
It's okay. She doesn't have to be awkward. They could fully look at each other and Silence is just gonna still stone face. Just yeah, facial cues don't register as much.
She's just like doesn't know how to, she's like a fucking teenager right now. Just,
Um yeah, you're glowing, literally. Seems like it's good to have you back. You had me scared there for a bit.
Thank you. I think you found hope and well, power from my mom, and yeah, I think yeah, Valerie helped remind me to see this one. He told me as much when I went back in time. Sorry about that, by the way. Girls gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
Hey, you have nothing to apologize for. I'm just glad you're back. That's all. We have unfinished business here.
Yes. Yes, back to war, as it is. But first, best. Go first.
So sorry, you cut out. I just can't hear you as much.
Oh, I was saying it's Hephaestus has some goodies for us, and then it's back to war. Where do you think we should go first?
Yeah, I'd like to see Hephaestus. I think that's a little more relaxing than anything else. I can do the talking. Don't worry.
Thanks. Oh boy, he's an elusive one, I suppose.
Of course, of course.
He likes me very much.
Well, the resounding opinion seems to be otherwise. But maybe just not his Kilix of wine. Come on, let's take a stroll.
Let's go.
Anyone else want to come? And he'll just gesture to Gyasi or Boris.
Yeah.
I'm as they were talking, I was helping Valerie if she wanted to fit into like the new clothing she wanted to, the non-party clothing.
She puts back on her normal, like, druidy clothing. And like you can suggest to her like where, and then that is made available like Greek still, not still, so like that white Greek linen, like traditional style. She's totally like not into it. She'll just like keep wearing her leathers and clothes.
Yes. I whisper over to her, can't beat the classics, and we joined the others.
Got it. Okay, join the others. Where are you all headed?
Silenos, you suggested Hephaestus. I'd be willing to meet up with the flame.
Yeah, sure. He's a lot easier than all these other gods. Yeah, come on. Just watch your flammables. It's a little warm.
You find yourself walking out of the beautiful sunshine into this sort of deep, dark cave in the mountainside underneath the arena. Find your way through, and very quickly the heat rises. Like literally step by step, you feel the temperature rising until it becomes like sweating. You're just sweating. And you step through and you find yourself in this massive forge foundry city, Alicia. It's filled with what look to be spirits of dwarves. There's some golems walking around of various types. You see these massive cyclops who are just banging away. One of them actually has like a lightning bolt in his hand, is like getting it off of a forge. And up top, you do see Hephaestus working on his own works. He's not kidding. He's going to look down. He's going to go, "Oh, hey guys, it's me, it's Hephaestus. How's it going? Everything good? Going well?"
Hey, Uncle Vestus, of course. Just brought some friends. And he'll look to Thalia and then to Alicia. This is Alicia. She's a great druid. We
Oh yeah, it's just
joined us.
sick. Yeah, her staff, very cool, very cool.
Oh, thank you for looking at it, Lord Hephaestus. If I might ask, what did you do to it?
Doing on some. So it hasn't even been a day. I'm still working on some of them, but I've got some really good ideas in the hatch there. Yeah, Silenos, you're gonna love it. I'll make it for you. It's a very special piece of gear, but I plan to have it done by the end of the day. Same with the rest of all of your stuff. I'm still working on what to do about your stick. It's very delicate, very unusual. I've worked with materials like this before, but I like a challenge.
I thank you. It is very unique. Thank you again. Are all these your helpers? I believe.
Oh yeah, they're all my helpers. Those are the spirits of various dwarves from across the land who have fallen but are recognized smiths in life and wish to continue to work in my forge as their afterlife. I have a couple golems running around, and oh yeah, these are my cyclopses. They're my right and left and upper hand all around here, and they're great. So yeah.
But they are clear hard workers. I hope you're proud of them.
Oh yeah, plenty proud. So yeah.
Oh well, if the items aren't done yet, we'll just leave you be and let you focus on that. Then don't want to impose.
Okay, yeah, we'll have them done by tonight. Yep, I just yep, I'll have them all distributed then.
Thank you again.
Oh, but I did, and he looks at Gyasi because I did what you told me to do. I got that first. I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have done your stuff first. I'm sorry about that, but I got a little. Anyway, this is what I made, and Hugh takes like this bronze owl, and he like sits it down, and like touches its back. I don't even see what he does exactly, but suddenly the owl sort of like, and you see like little cogs and little spin dials and such start like working inside, and a little heat begins to reverberate from its interior, and this clockwork owl sort of like springs to life and kind of starts like flying around the room. And he looks like pretty happy with himself and gives you like a thumbs up to Gyasi.
That is an amazing achievement. That is fantastic. I'm so happy for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, thanks. I don't know. What do you think I should name him?
Um,
I was thinking Merlin.
I don't know, maybe a bee name.
let me think. Alicia's just kind of taken back by this. Like, it's a thing that is, it's like a little bit of Uncanny Valley. She's kind of struck by it. Like,
Yeah, like Valerie, like literally, like she's standing beside you. She literally just whispers. She's like, abomination. She's like, she says abominations. Like she's very quiet under her breath, but like, it is. Look at it. She's like stricken by it as well. She thinks it's like an abhorrent of nature.
Silenos is walking out. Gyasi says a B name. Silenos just goes, Silenos! And he just walks out.
Um, boop, boop.
Hey, if you really want to tug on Superman's cape, name it after Athena's owl.
Well, I don't know if she loves that. I think
I can guarantee you she wouldn't.
I better not then. Oh man, me. That would be terrible.
Quick question: Is Hephaestus our size, or is he gigantic right now?
He's big boy right now. He's like 10 feet tall.
10 feet tall. Sorry, I just had a moment. Alicia will go. Should she do this or not?
Can I help you with something there?
Yeah, Alicia's the last one to kind of leave. She'll kind of go up to Hephaestus and last night I was speaking with Dionysus.
Okay.
He was telling me about the gods, Zeus's children, and about you. Forgive me if I'm out of line here, but Hera, is it true that, and I don't know if the others are out of earshot or not, but is it true that she threw you down the mountain?
Yeah, 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 when I was
And
yeah.
and she'll, I know, I don't,
Collapses like, Hephaestus, like, the sort of babbling of
she's, and,
the Cyclops.
Okay, sorry.
So Hephaestus kind of starts like babbling to himself like nervously, and you see like all the Cyclopses just like turn. The three Cyclops just turn and look at you. This look of like they're mad at you.
Party back.
Yeah.
Okay, as she knows is that Alicia's just gonna go up and just
Like got their hands are doing one of these at you.
just put her hand on Hephaestus and say, I'm terribly sorry. You are a remarkable being.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I guess. Well, I got a lot of work to do. I gotta. Oh,
Yes, thank you again. You're great forge lord. And Silenos is going to go
it's-
behind Alicia and usher her out.
It's that
Alicia, on Olympus, these beings are infinitely powerful. Some questions don't always need to be asked. Maybe not directly to these beings. Are quite bashful. I've learned the hard way.
Yeah, Alicia's just trying to do like this act of kindness, I guess. Like, I guess it's like the inner druid in her from like.
Well, yeah. So this is a role play game. So don't explain what it is you're trying to do.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I was tried something maybe missed.
Yeah, so I'll just Silenos will just say these beings are infinitely powerful and even more so emotional and brash. Each one of us can tell you a scenario where we've had the same happen to us. Just a learning lesson. You're one of us now.
Thank you.
Come on, let's go see the gardens.
Yeah.
And Silenos will tell you some more stuff about Olympus while walking.
And Alicia will come. We'll just follow along.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Yeah. You guys head out. You make your way out of the more grand doors at the front. And as the doors open, very like, even when the doors open, it's very much like walking through a wall. It's like stepping off a plane into a different climate. You are immersed once more back into the sun and the light breeze of Mount Olympus and the heat, like staggering heat of the forges of Hephaestus behind you. And you find yourselves once more in the gardens of Athena.
Can't hear you, Thalia.
So we have a day to kill before that stuff is done?
That's right. With that, you will see a particular goddess is going to come to you all. She has like chromatic rainbow-like hair. She has large wings that similarly are rainbow-like. Each feather is a different color of the rainbow. And she comes to you all and she says, hello, my name is Iris. I don't know if I met you, Gyasi. It's a pleasure to meet you again. I'm the messenger goddess, and I'm here to tell you that Zeus wants to speak with almost all of you, except you, points at Alicia.
And Valerie, I assume.
Oh yeah, I'm not her either.
We will enjoy. We will stay in these gardens.
Hey, have fun. Anyway, that's my whole job. Bye. And she disappears.
Bye.
A streak of rainbow that disappears a second later.
Yeah, Silenos will just he'll pull like some meat out of his pack for you and like make like a quick little fire for you guys. We have to go.
Yeah, we'll just conjure bonfire or something like that.
All right. Well, time to go. All right.
Onward and upward, as it were.
You all make your way up the side of the mountain, which will take some time. It's a tall mountain.
No, we teleport.
Oh, we teleport because who's got time for that? Nobody, apparently.
I don't want to walk.
You guys make your way to the top of the mountain, and you are going to find yourselves, there, which is wonderful. Let's go up there. Let's go take a look. You make your way all the way to the tippy top of the mountain where you see the great temple of Zeus. And you will be invited within to where you will see the Thunderer standing, the god of lightning, the king of kings. He'll turn to you all and say, that was good.
I mean, something.
Come. We have much to discuss, all of us. And he'll take you into his quarters, which one of you will recognize, and see a big fire. You'll see a big fireplace. Very, very lordly, very kingly, very godly. There's a huge, tall, vaulted ceiling with a giant mosaic of various gods, all in conflict, like you might have seen. Very lavish, very beautiful, but it's also sort of warlike. There's trophies of wars past. But most importantly, sitting in the middle of the room, at the top of a dais, is this beautiful calyx of gold and a glowing purple, like liquidy substance within. He'll have his hands behind his back, and Zeus will say, "This is what comes. This power of the gods, in essence." We'll lift the calyx in his hand and say, "This is Ambrosia." Then put it back down on the balance. Within this purple liquid is the power to turn those with celestial blood into gods. You three have exemplified what it means to be a god. protected Olympus. And I see in you, yes, you all have your various beliefs. Some of you have a deep, resounding faith in the gods. Some of you may not. But what matters most is that at the end of the day, you all have come forward multiple times. You have saved Olympus from its enemies, perhaps even from itself. Do not make this offer lightly. It's been considered for some time that your power and your loyalty has been proven time and time again. I offer to you three God, immortality, power to become one of us for all time. I will not have you drink this now, even if you are ready at this very moment. You must consider what this means. Be a god of Olympus for all time. No small thing. You will find yourself in many ways stagnant. For now, as you may be for all time. Those parts that you desire or like in yourself or dislike in yourself will become stronger, more apparent. There's much to being a god, more than just power. It affects you in many ways. The world needs gods. The world needs to be protected. And for there to be gods, I would offer you this. God and immortality. See?
She'll fall to her knees and can't imagine anything more beautiful. Oh God, I
Devotion of that. To be Thalia or deity of Olympus for all time forward. Your immediate faith is noted, is appreciated. I beckon you take time and heed wisdom. Do not take the offer lightly. If you're not ready, it is not the place for it. No words need be shared. You know that I offer you a place in Olympus for all time, you free. When you're ready, sometime, you may return and bring with Ambrosia. Not, will not be hated in this place. Will be as it always was. There are many demigods who have chosen mortality. Perseus, one of the most famous of my sons, chose a life of mortal, the man. Alternatively, Hercules, one of my other most favorite sons, chose God. It would be for you to choose which path is yours. The path of the living or the path of the immortal. Decide, need wisdom, or you make a decision for all time.
I appreciate your faith, great Zeus. Thank you for your offer.
Very well.
Yeah, he won't say anything. He's just gonna be stone-faced. He won't make any.
He will move his hand, not so like be gone, but like move his hand like on the wind almost, and the doors behind you will creak open once more. Turn when you have made your choices, once you have taken time to think.
And if people are going to leave, Gyasi is going to hang back just a bit.
Silenos and Thalia go to leave. You see Zeus sort of, there's a crook of a smile appears under his beard, and he'll nod to the two of you to give him space, and the doors will close themselves on the wind. Zeus will find his way to a seat to sit, and await what you have to say, but he perhaps expected this.
Great King, I stand behind what I said in your throne room. Things have a place. And if these series of events illuminate nothing, that it is important that things be in their place, that the Olympians be here in Olympus, that the Titans are in Tartarus, that the pantheons from other lands are beholding influence in those spaces, and that the mortals are within their own sphere as well. Somebody with a calling to see that done is needed. That is what I have accepted from Gaia herself. But in order to do that with so many immortals, that watcher would need to be so themselves. I recognize the gift that you offer is staggering and has implications beyond my ability to recollect. I would accept it, but please know that my goal will be to ever make sure that things are in their place.
It's odd, child Hermes. You intend to play God here so, and yet deny us our divine right.
I do not deny any divinity their right, you least of all. But is not influence and, to a degree, control part of your right? Is it not the right of the Egyptian pharaohs? Speaking of other places, I'm no I am no sage and scholar with respect to those places, but you would not want them intruding on you. You would not want to intrude on them. You would not want the Titans loosed once again. Everything needs to have a place, and someone who is unbeholding to a particular influence, who looks to the mortal realm as what it is. It is the source of belief. It is the source of choice. And that choice and those sacrifices are what give you, in part, your due. Someone needs to make sure that that choice remains as free as possible. It's not an absolute, but someone is going to misbehave, set a Titan free, raise some other level of influence, and someone is going to need to be watching for that to happen. And most of these influences are immortal. They are lordly. And I think there is an opportunity to be had once we are finished with this turmoil, for you to lead not only the Olympians, but set the standard for everyone else.
And you would have me set to your step.
I am only presenting back to you what you presented to us the first time that we were here. That was your goal. That was your wish, your desire. It doesn't have to happen instantaneously. But at the time that we were here, you thought that it should happen with time. And I agree wholeheartedly that it should. Perhaps when we wrestle with Kronos, perhaps you should take an opportunity and look and see what that future looks like. And if you're willing to accept me as a nonpartisan, a watcher and guardian for the moral realm, it's a task that I will undertake. And if you wish to withdraw it, you will have no umbrance from me. It is your choice.
Persuasion check.
What was that?
Persuasion?
Oh, not my skill set. but not a bad roll. 19.
19. Looks at you and says, to drink the ambrosia, to become immortal, I would require from you undying fealty to this place. But that is not what you offer. What you offer is change. What you offer is mediation, a portion of salvation, an assurance that the gods begin to step back from the portals to enjoy their own world. Now,
And
I these druids come, speak of their lands and how they command themselves. Are these druids not the gods of their lands? Do the lands not need taming? Was not all things created from chaos? And does the land not need beings of substantial power to hold things in place? Would you not be trading one god set for another? Just those with less power, so when the real problems need fixing, they will be at loss.
you and the other Olympians rose to incite change. In part because you could. And there is no evil in that. Just as there is not necessarily any good in that. There was a challenge and a goal and a need to conquer that goal. Mortals are not unlike that. And I'm not saying that there are not going to be times where divine influence, divine interaction is not going to be absolutely needed. But as with anyone with power, it must be tempered with wisdom. You spoke of wisdom when we were first here, about stepping back and allowing your influence, your good governance to sway mortals into the path that you would have them take. And there is wisdom to be had there. They need to grow. You asked about the druids. I don't know as much about them as I probably should, beyond the fact that they try to live within the bounds of nature and the earth, and to a degree have made their peace and harmony with it. Did everything spring up from nothing? Well, it sprung from somewhere. I'm not wise enough to understand all of the where, but it was sprung for a purpose. And part of that purpose is driven by the mortals and their choices, their fellowship, their devotions. Those devotions are what foster faith. That faith inspires actions and behaviors. Perhaps you mentioned about catastrophes that would leave them at a loss. Perhaps that's needed. As horrible as that is to say, perhaps that the plague needs to run its course in order for the population to get better, to become stronger. That to a degree, that strife and challenge is what allows for growth and improvement. Surely you do not want your people, not necessarily the Olympians, but the mortals in your sway, to become stagnant and to no longer strive for improvement. You want them to be able to change, be able to choose. Ideally, they should choose you. And influenced appropriately, that should be the case.
You make fine points. I do not lie. I recognize wisdom when it is heard.
But I heartily believe that I am only saying what you have said to me at a different point in time when you were not under the same stress that you have been these last few days.
I indeed have been quite distressed in my imprisonment, but I do not have any illusions to the contrary that I am a warrior. I was born to war, born to fight battle. No.
May I draw a parallel at risk to Alexander?
Very well.
Alexander was arguably a great and powerful king who conquered every horizon that he could see. But the fatigue that that caused, not only him, but his followers, weighed on them heavily. And that success came at a cost from something else that had great power, something that shouldn't have been allowed to be free and about. Something needed to be there to protect that as best as could be done, and it didn't happen. And Calligemus slew Alexander, poisoned him. So we don't have an opportunity to see what kind of king that he might have been when he wasn't standing with one hand soaked in blood. You cannot build a temple. You cannot build something worthy of remembrance when you are constantly at war. It requires a degree of peace. And many warriors do not transition well to peace. Only the best of them. And not saying the best on the battlefield, but the best in wisdom and in leadership. I would dare say, at some risk, that amongst your Grecians, that some of the greatest ideas to exist have been born, and that fruit has not been born of strife. Take a look at Athens and how prosperous they have been, how revolutionary their thoughts and leadership have been, and that comes directly back to you and the Olympians. Look at how egalitarian some pieces of Grecian society are. That is a triumph of your leadership, not your war making, not your individual pursuits. They are the legacy that will exist perhaps for as long as time. An individual battle will be forgotten because there will be more, always more. That is in part the nature of the mortal plane. And to some degree, the infighting that goes on here is a reflection of that same process. It doesn't go away, but it isn't what makes for greatness. It's laudable that, yes, you could slay any enemy that met you on the field. But the building of something is significantly harder than the destroying of it.
You make many good points. You have great wisdom. I acknowledge this. But there is still much you do not understand of the gods and divinity. I will give you this. When I meet with this druid, I will speak of him on these many words you have given to me. Perhaps, at the very least, there is a place on the mortal plane blessed by the gods that belongs to your oath. You have many paladins and yet no watchers. I am not so foolish as to cast out new ideas and new beliefs, so long as they do not directly threaten my reign. Perhaps there may be a place for watchers who might teach others of your philosophies, and maybe in turn they will teach the gods one day. You are young. And if you are to hold this path that says the gods should remain in one place, create their influence so that the world remains gently as it should, but not interfere with it, we'll be given the opportunity to convince us that it's true. It will require time. It will require wisdom. I have thought much. You have an offer before you, Gyasi, son of Hermes. But it would require you to let go of these beliefs you hold so intensely. Here, you may never die. You will be immortal, and perhaps play these mortals. As immortal, you may teach, perhaps one day, that we gods Like, you can step back. Yes. You have an offer before you, and you have feelings in your hands. I am curious to see how you will balance.
Thank you for your audience, great Zeus.
You will handle it.
Sorry, I missed that.
And for your candor, young one.
This will be exit stage left.
And with that exits and offers for the place before the Demithots are thinking to do. But why don't we go ahead and take a slightly early break, and we come back. We will see what's next for the Demithots. You guys are quickly joined, well, not quickly at all. Sometime later, after the meeting of minds, Gyasi steps out of the chamber. You look at him, but you don't see any like cruel deific changes to him. You expect it's still Gyasi.
Thank you both for your forbearance. I was concerned that there would be splash, and there wasn't, and that's good. But I wouldn't want to take your options and choices by proximity,
I understand.
because sometimes speaking truth to power is not what they want to hear. But that went as reasonably well as that conversation could have gone. And thank you, Thalia. I drew on a great deal of your expressed grace to get through that, and your knowledge of Athens and what you've shared of Athenian society was instrumental in that rather difficult conversation.
I just hope we get to become gods, that we get to play gods as well. I must admit, I disagree with your morals, Gyasi, but not so much that I'll let them stand in my way.
And change is difficult, and choice is difficult. I understand the need, but I worry that just as the Olympians have a struggle with right now the Titans, what of other pantheons and those struggles? How many people are going to die born out of those struggles when we've seen firsthand the warrior power of Zeus on the battlefield. A tithe of that power could level the city of Athens and could level my mother's home in Alexandria. And that is the piece that I think is worthy of protecting, of of trying to limit the scope of engagement to influence.
But Gyasi, the fun part. Come on. You're gonna make such a good guy. You wait.
Okay, we're gonna Gyasi first. Man. And the funny thing is that many gods would share Thalia's opinion. Anyway, meanwhile, down the mountain, Alicia, you and Valerie are walking amongst Aphrodite's gardens. There's much to be seen there. You see various sort of like small fake creatures to your delight, perhaps. Flitting amongst the garden, you see some beautiful women. Sort of just being amongst the foliage and enjoying each other's company, these three gorgeous women. The beautiful area, it's very much like that, it's almost got this, like, palace gardens, that's like almost empty, but here and there you see like an interesting thing around a corner, maybe something that shouldn't be there. It has this gorgeous, like, natural beauty, also the mystique of these beautiful creatures lingering here and there. Is there anything that you wanna do or talk to Valerie about as you hang around down here?
Well, for one, to pass the time, are there any animals in the garden?
I'm sure there's definitely rabbits, definitely bunnies. Very small.
Of course, there are rabbits.
Yeah, of course. There are doves. There are probably quite a few doves. Critters like that, just small like woodland critters. Nothing carnivorous. Just very like. It's a very friendly place, and every time you see like a small creature, it's a very like aw, like ooh moment. Creatures that add to its natural beauty, and then there are like very small sprites that you would be used to back in the lands of Gaia. These just like small nature spirits that are just around here and about. So they're a little different than what you're used to, but you generally understand their purpose. And Valerie will note, she'll say, I've been looking at all of the nature here, and it's so interesting. Where we come from, nature just is what it is, and we step in when we need to, which is often, admittedly, but here it's like everything has something ruling over it. Every flower has a sprite or a fairy, every tree has a dryad attached to it, every river has... It's like everything is ruled so meticulously. Everything has a ruler.
It reminds me more of a building than a garden almost.
Building?
Because you design a building where it should be. Well, you've heard of that, you know. They designed them where they should be and everything.
Oh yes. No, certainly here on Olympus, I don't know what it's like in the material world, but here on Olympus, yes, everything seems so intentional.
Orderly in its place.
Even the natural stuff seems very much where they want it to be. It's very different.
No chance of anything getting out of its place. I'm gonna go over to a rabbit and cast Speak with Animals on it.
Okay. Can I speak with animals on it?
Okay.
Looks up at you and sort of tilts its head at you. Full bunny ears flop to the side.
Like, hello there.
Good evening, sir.
Like, well, good day to you too. What's your name?
My name is Helios. What is yours?
I am Alicia, Archdruid of the Circle of the Moon.
Well, how nice is it to finally be able to converse with someone on two legs instead of four? How practice.
It And I'm sure it is very rare it is very rare for this place.
Yes. Oh, I hear that there are these divine beings here on the mountain who can do such things, but they don't come here for some reason. There is, of course, the beautiful woman who comes to the garden every now and again. Those other beautiful women who come through. It's just so. What a lovely piece.
I see. Well, do so the gods they never speak with you?
They speak to me, yes. I don't think they always understand me when I talk back. It depends on the god. Oh, I remember there's this particular woman who comes here from time to time. She sneaks in and she talks to me about her secrets. I cannot understand what the hell she's saying. But every now and then I can. And she calls herself Persephone, lovely young lady. She only shows up around half the time. But that's quite all right.
What did she tell you?
The person who runs these gardens, which I think is a rather unfortunate turn of phrase.
I suppose so. Have you always been up here?
As long as I can remember, since my father and mother birthed me from my pure white-bread bunny lineage.
I see. Do you have many brothers and sisters?
Oh, many! I couldn't even count them all. Indeed, I literally couldn't. I'm not smart enough.
It's like, well, thank you. Do any of the other gods come here besides the woman?
Yes, many gods dwell here. There's that rather lopsided one who used to come here a lot, not so much anymore. He comes around, looks real forlorn and such.
I'm sorry, who was that again?
He's got a little bit of a lopsided arm, and I think one of his legs seems to be made of rock.
I see. I see. I see.
Oh, do you? Fascinating.
This is my friend Valerie.
Oh yeah, Valerie's right there with you. She's like, you're having a conversation with an animal. She's having a conversation. It's like, oh hi, Mr. Cornelius. It was good to see you, madam. I say, does a little bow.
Thank you. And this is more like to pass the time until they come back.
And I'm going to say, as you're speaking to the rabbit, we're going to, there's going to be a sort of familiar, I'm going to say a whooshing of the wind. And you recognize it is the turbulence of the plane itself. You feel this residual energy of the plane shift. You and Valerie turn around to see probably a very happy sight. You see arriving now is Ian Warren, Archdruid of the Circle of Shepherds of the Lands of Gaia.
Like I go up and hug him.
Yeah, both of you go up and hug him. He goes, well, it's good to see you too. You look like you're doing quite well, and it sounds like things are going way okay. Good to see you, and then you guys have...
We haven't been struck down yet, so that's some good news.
Oh, I'm mighty glad to hear that news. You haven't even been struck down yet, and things are, might peaceful around here. Maybe you even achieved what you set out to do for all of them.
It's a work in progress, but the good news is that Zeus has returned to his throne.
That is some good news. I'll be very excited to talk and meet with this old god.
It is very different here, though. I don't know how to put it, but just things are different here. Just don't don't say anything that could be taken as an insult.
Well, I endeavor to do that wherever I go, Alicia.
I trust you. I'm just nervous.
Well, honored to be accepted, and I hope that me and this Zeus fellow can come to some common mind. It would be hopefully a good meeting. So, why don't you two do me a favor and show me along to where I need to be?
I suppose so. I speak to Cornelius and say, like, well, this is the Ian Warren, another art student, and just introduce and say, well, we're gonna have to leave for now.
He goes, well, that's quite all right. Pleasure to meet you there, good Ian Warren, sir. And Ian Warren says, well, it's an honor to meet you. May I say you have a lovely home here, young man. Well, rather kind to say that. The two of you immediately, he just knows how to talk to creatures, and you expect that's probably why he's considered the more charismatic of the archdruids, is because he does a lot of talking to beasts, being the circle of the shepherd. And you guys can head on the road. So meanwhile, at the top of the mountain, as you guys kind of come to your end of conversation, you'll see Alicia, Valerie, and Ian Warren emerge at the top of the mountain. Ian Warren will say, well, it's good to see all of you again. I think I have a big meeting with a big man, and I hope you've all been doing well. I hear you've got your mountain back. My congratulations to you.
Couldn't have done it without your help.
That's real kind of you, Thalia. Thank you for saying so. All right, well, this is certainly the biggest and highest of the houses around here. I imagine this is where I'm meant to be. You also see that there are 4 gods who dwell at the top of Mount Olympus that many of you know of, and they're the sort of personal entourage of Zeus, which is Nike. They all kind of watch sort of interested, not sure what you're all up to, probably not in the loop. But they're there. And in this moment, Zeus will emerge from his temple, like that short dissection between Thalia between Gyasi and Zeus. And yeah, he emerges, and he looks down and sees Ian Warren and says, you are not a creature I have seen before in my domain. He goes, well, I expect that it's because this is my first time under your domain, and I might thank you for your invitation. I expect you are Zeus. It's an honor to meet you, sir. And he'll kind of do sort of like a hesitant bow, very much trying out something from a culture he doesn't usually abide by. Zeus steps down from his steps. He says, your disciples did you well, and they have afforded you this meeting. I'll be excited to hear what you have to say. It seems that you have garnered a lot of support and influence amongst my followers. Well, I certainly meant no intention to underhand you, if that's what you mean to imply. But I'm glad to see that some of your disciples found some humble meaning where I'm from, and we're just happy to help you with your mountain, sir. Zeus looks at him, like somebody who's trying to find a reason not to like somebody. Let us speak. With a gesture, I'll say, as for the rest of you, I do not know what you have intending for the rest of the day, but perhaps you might seek out Athena. Decide what it is you plan to do next with your time. There are still titans that need defeating, lest the revelries may have made you. Zeus will go in, Ian will step up the steps and turn around and give another bowing of the head as if to say, thank you for all you've done. You will go into the temple as calm and as confident as can be. And Valerie is like, I hope he is good day.
It'll be fine.
I just watch Ian One as he goes into the temple, and like a hopeful but void look for him.
Yeah, it's probably what Valerie looks like. This sort of like he's gonna go in, like even more about to go into a meeting with like Hitler and the SS battalion.
Not that extreme, but yeah.
Maybe not extreme, at least for Valerie. This guy is the enemy of Skull Flame, so maybe. But yeah, what would you all like to do? It is getting late in the day. I don't remember what Hephaestus said, if he said in the morning or this evening, but I'm going to say this evening. So, if it's getting later in the day, things are getting closer to completion. You're suggesting to go see Athena and plan next steps. But Olympus is yours. What would the Demithots like to do?
Let's go see Athena.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, yes.
Go see Athena, you all shall. Make your way to her temple. You're welcomed in, of course. You'll find she has a rather sort of military, obviously, temple space. Where is that? There it is. But largely it has a spiraling staircase that leads down into the mountain. Make your way downward, you'll see many strange relic doors leading to other places. Miraculous mirror, a crystal ball in the middle of a room, but once you get a level, you'll find yourself in seemingly maybe like a dozen, maybe more levels to a massive library archive down below. At which point you'll be approached by a giant owl who will flutter and land on one of the railings. He'll say, Goddess of Wisdom, I assume.
Greetings. Greetings. Where might we find the goddess Athena?
She's down below. That's so. If you find her, simply descend the base of the ladder.
Thank you. What would your name be?
I am the owl known as Glaucopus.
Glaucopus. Thank you. Thank you for your aid, and I give a deep bow to it.
Will just sort of like go off the hook and descend down into the library and land on another shelf and start like picking up books by its beak or talons, gently so, and placing them on the shelves. Descend all the way down. It takes quite a while.
Thalia flies.
Okay, Thalia flies.
As we're going down, can I make a perception check as we're walking through this large archive of books, or anything about Nyx?
You can. Make a perception check.
Or some kind of check, yeah.
Or make a perception check.
Yes. Perception is a 17. Is this dim light?
Yeah, certain portions are dim light.
Cool. Oh, the second roll of I accidentally rolled it at advantage again, but the second roll was 14, so it becomes a 23.
23. So you see many books and many relics and many strange things. One of the problems about that is that the books, like, it's not like the modern day where the books have like markings on.
Yeah, like a title on it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're leather covered books, and you're not sure how the place is organized. And also, you're blind. You have blind sight, but makes it hard to read. So it's a little difficult in some senses. But you do see strange relics here and there. You might see one or two things that you think could have something to do with the goddess of night, the primordial entity of night. You see like a vial of just like pure black, which could be like bottled darkness, and you see like another orb. It looks like a crystal ball, but again, it's black on the interior of the crystal. There's a number of things that draw your attention, but nothing that you can pinpoint and say that is Nyx. But
Yeah.
this is the life of Athena, the goddess of knowledge and wisdom. Chances are there is knowledge here of her.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as he kind of senses that, Silenos, though he has this power, he's good in nature. He's not just gonna steal it. He will ask the owl as he's walking past. Or like even I'll separate. I'll say everyone, you guys can go, and I will ask them after.
The owl will flutter over to you, sensing your intention, says, "What is it that you seek, blind one?"
Thank you for your counsel. I seek knowledge on the being and force known as Nyx.
If you wish to know of Nyx, perhaps Athena may guide you. But the gods help no one for naught if there is not sacrifice. Perhaps you have something to contribute to Athena's stores of library.
I don't know that it's necessarily belongs in a library, but I would say it is a relic of Greece. It's a scale of a great dragon depicting a battle, and I'll pull out this silver scale shield. It has the magic of the great dragon that helped us to.
It will look it over and it will flick its talons a couple times in a gesture that you would recognize to be arcane. Its big black eyes sort of glow for a second. It says, and it will take it in its talon and sort of look at it and say, "The dragon shield of Silenos, a demigod relic. These archives would be quite happy to possess it."
It would be an honor to be immortalized in a place such as this.
Make no mistake, many volumes already exist of your legends, Silenos, son of Artemis. But a moment, and it will sort of flutter off, shield disappearing into the archives of Athena, but very quickly after, maybe only like 2 or 3 minutes later, the owl will return with sort of hanging from its beak a number of books, maybe like 3 leather-bound books that are just sort of hanging from its beak, and you will deposit them in your hand and say, "You may read these as you like. They are not to be taken from the archives, however."
Of course. Perhaps I'll just set them aside in a certain place and just read them over the next while. Thank
There
you.
are desks at the base of the library. You may leave them there if you please.
Thank you very much. Would you like a snack? And I'll just pull out some meat from my pack. Like a big hunk of meat.
Yeah, you take a big hunk of meat,
And I'll just...
snack, and he's like, "A snack? I am a librarian." And you take out this huge hunk of meat, and he goes, "Yeah." And then, a big like out of the air.
Thank you again. And I'll just rejoin everyone to Athena.
Yeah, you rejoin everyone in the library. The owl known as Glaucopus will return to its owl duties around here. You guys go to where you see Athena is sitting in a throne before a war map. Says, "I was wondering when you would all come. We're on board of Olympus already."
Not as long as you're atop it.
Somewhere Artemis is like, she smiles at you, Thalia, and says, "I would much rather the topic be our enemies and how we intend to defeat them."
we must.
How many Titans remain, if I may ask?
4 Titans. She will stand and she will take very well crafted bronze pieces and place them on this map. And I will show you now, Alicia, the map of Greece, or the battle map, as it's dubbed.
Hmm.
A lot of activity going on. Yeah, a lot of it has changed actually, so I'm just gonna remove the whole shit ton of it. We don't know where Kronos went, Kronos went, Kronos went. This has disappeared. Okay, so she'll show you the map, and she will say, "We've all been doing quite well. Atlas and Kronos have vanished, but Oceanus and Hyperion have always remained well within our sights." She will put down 2 pieces, one of this like large, almost like merman-looking god with a long beard, not unlike Poseidon's, but he has a crown of crab claws and a large trident at his side. She'll place it in the middle of the Aegean, and she'll say, "Deep beneath the Aegean, in the city of Atlantis, Oceanus has claimed the domain of Poseidon and imprisons him there, is what we have learned. Alternatively," she will, floating above, you will see a Titan that has I know there's a word for it in, there's a word for it, the circle in, like, Christian, like, murals and stuff around, like, Jesus and whatever. Oh.
Halo?
No, what's called a really cool word, dude. Oh, I don't remember what it is. But anyway, he's got, like, this almost, like, star-like flame around the back of his head, and has just this, like, large, divine, almost unsightly appearance as he's so bright, and says, "And Hyperion, as usual, since the start of this war, lingers in the sky. Apollo and him battle for control of it, but neither can kill the other, neither can destroy the other. One of these 2 must fall. We do not know where Kronos or Atlas has gone, but I expect Kronos has taken Atlas as his personal bodyguard, as he cowers from our might now. So we need to flush him out. We need to defeat his new lieutenants. So I ask you, Demithots, which Titan would you rather slay first? Hyperion, the god of watchfulness in the sun, or Oceanus, Titan of the sea?"
Oceanus holds Poseidon prisoner, correct?
He holds Poseidon prisoner, and his defeat would mean the freeing of Poseidon to aid us. And to return the seas back to normal, as since Oceanus' claim of Atlantis, the waters have been nearly unusable. The mortals suffer ever more as every day passes, as water travel is essential to trade in the Aegean.
How has Hyperion's rule of the sky affected the world?
It is uncertain how hot they will be, sometimes scaldingly so enough to kill populations, other times too cruel to even grow crops. But most importantly, it rains sickness down on mortal folk. Plague is abounds due to Hyperion. Crops struggle to grow, even with Demeter's influence. Grows off the balance of nature. Oceanus claimed the Aegean. If you ask me, the mortals need their seas returned to them. Trade must resume in the Aegean, or Greece will become not as glorious as it used to be. I think Oceanus should go next, but I leave the decision to all of you, as you have done so well so far. Both must go.
I agree.
Does Hyperion provide the same oracular insight for Kronos that Apollo does for the Olympians?
Yes, to some degree. Only that which is seen under the day can be spied by him. As night falls, as people go inside or underground, his sight wanes. And and he cannot see upon the top of this mountain, as it is another plane. And he sees much that happens in the mortal world.
If it was up to me, which I am only one voice, I would say Oceania should be next. It's only the Olympians to full power. To full power, should be our next. Should be our main goal, all before we go after Kronos.
Actually, I'm
Sorry, go ahead.
as much as I would love to see Poseidon freed, I almost think that removing any oracular sight would be hugely beneficial. Kronos can see and react across time, but that power is magnified by having that kind of information available to him. Oceanus, while he can stop the sea travel, doesn't present as large a boon to Kronos. Kronos is more blind than ever since he has been locked out of Olympus. But further blinding him would make his powers more circumspect. With Helios available, Kronos can send Atlas wherever he needs to, as long as it happens in the day.
Athena will put forth, there is the aspect of understanding that Kronos' power of time can only function as much as his knowledge bases. He can go back in time and influence events, or forward in time and influence events, but it can only do so with the knowledge of what will, has, or is happening. With the knowledge coming from Hyperion, Kronos has a better understanding of how best to influence events to his favor. Now, Hyperion is blind to the knowledge that the cults present him, which is not nearly as superior as the knowledge under the sun.
I have friends trapped in the ocean, and they've been trapped there for some time now, so I think we should go to Oceanus and free Poseidon.
I think what Gyasi speaks is true, but then again, the light of the sun only penetrates so deep in the ocean. It's deep. It's deep, dark. Very little light can shine down there at times. Hyperion and thus Kronos would not be able to properly gaze on us.
Athena says, what you say is true. Once you reach a certain depth, the oceans are indeed considered another plane, and thus beyond the eyes of even Apollo. Just like the sky and the underworld, the ocean is considered its own plane once you reach it.
Thalia will pull out her seashell she got ages ago and whisper into it. Are you there? Are you there? Well, friends.
It'll say, yes, we're here. You've been trapped in this cold place for so long.
Can you tell me the state of things?
It's only a sending stone. Right?
Oh, alright. It's been a really long time since I've used it.
Yeah, it's a sending stone. It's
okay.
once a day.
Okay. Never mind. Yeah, it pulls at my heartstrings, but that'll be that.
Well, that said, let us free Poseidon. If you have, I am willing to follow where your heart would lead.
He nods and says, "Then it is decided. You will all go to the ocean depths to free Poseidon. And I've already put some thought into this, and much of the gods have already. I offer you a choice, a possibility. Poseidon is held in Atlantis, and Oceanus holds domain of it. Make no mistake, it is a very defensible fortress that Poseidon has built for himself. And Oceanus now utilizes it. We do have a resource in the depths of the ocean that Poseidon and the gods have used in times of great strife. We've held it at bay because it is destructive and hard to point in the right direction. But the Kraken could always be released upon the seas, aid you in the fight ahead. Oceanus will fight it hard to bear his might and the might of you all.
So, Alicia would say, before we do make our final decision, Silenos, Ouroboros, Katara, do you have any thoughts?
Ouroboros and Katara aren't there. They're like out on a leisure day. They're like, we're on vacation, baby. We've been working hard.
Okay. Silenos?
It's settled. I ride the Kraken into battle.
I mean, you can.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
If anybody will, you're the guy.
Thank you,
What-
Captain. That brings up the question. What of the help me. Help. Our ship,
Well,
Typhios?
Skyfios. Is it water capable yet? Or
Hephaestus finished his designs long ago.
oh, perfect. I just didn't know how expedient he had been. Amazing. Then a siege it is.
There you go. There you go.
So, what would be the best way to use the Kraken? Use this beast? Again, use it as a distraction so we...
It is a creature of malice. And to be clear, Alicia, you don't know what a Kraken is. You've never heard of such a thing in your life. And Valerie is scratching her head a little too. But Athena will continue, and she'll say, this is a beast, a creature meant to be able to kill titans and gods, or at least defeat them. It is a being of unbridled rage, of unbridled destruction, created by Poseidon. It is effective in what it was built to do, but difficult to point in the right direction. It is very angry, very wild spirit. It will take some persuasion, perhaps coercion even, to direct it where you wish for it to go. It is a mighty beast, and you will need to find a way to direct it in the direction you want it to go.
I look at Valerie, I may be able to help in that, and I may be able to help with that.
Valerie goes, what's a Kraken? She goes, Athena's like, oh, nice. She goes, as I had said, the Kraken is a great creature of past wars. It was made for the seas, a being of great potential. It has within it the power of Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. It is their creation together, but Poseidon's final product. It has within it the power to summon storms, as the power to enter the minds and spirits of mortals, as the god of the dead might allow. And of course, it has great command of the sea. It is a gargantuan creature of mighty wrath, one not to be trifled with lightly. That is like sick. It's like a giant octopus that can affect your mind and call on storms and a very dangerous being. There are
Wow.
two gods, Zeus and maybe Poseidon, who could defeat it.
So our strategy would be to go to the Kraken
Test that?
and influence it to attack Atlantis, or to draw out Oceanus so we could free Poseidon, or
Whatever you are able and capable of it to do in an aiding manner. It will be your decision to use this creature or not. If you decide not to release it, you can attempt this mission otherwise. You have to decide how you intend to use the creature to aid. You could send it to battle Oceanus and buy you time to free Poseidon.
we could join it in battling against Oceanus, perhaps, or just attack Atlantis with it and try to free Poseidon there, or
You could leave it free to roam and raid and destroy as it sees fit. I have no doubt Oceanus would be interested in the release of such a creature. They draw it away from Atlantis, give you time to call forth Poseidon, and then in a final great battle, you all join with Poseidon and the Kraken for attempts to lay low Oceanus once and for all.
perhaps.
You have time to decide your tactic. If you need to consult me or ask if any of the gods might come with, that is your prerogative. I will remind you, though, there are very few gods who function quite well in Poseidon's domain, which is why we dwell in the sky mostly. But it is your decision to make.
Hmm. Athena, if you had to choose, which gods would work best beneath the waves besides Poseidon?
I've told the Demithots the same thing that I will tell you. You must not think of the gods in a sense of what their capabilities are, what weapons they wield and such. You must think upon what domains they command, and how they conflict with what you intend to achieve. For example, how well do you think, say, Hephaestus, the god of fire, will dwell in the oceans? Not terribly well. Regardless of his capabilities and creations, is a god of fire, and fire is often doused in water. Could be difficult. Now, if we think of the fact that you're underwater, and there are many creatures underwater, there's much flora underwater, perhaps Demeter. There might even be an argument for Artemis, as if you intend to unleash the Kraken on Oceanus, it very much does indeed become a hunt. But then there's also the point of the Kraken's savagery, which would speak to Ares' capabilities. Bloodlust, slaughter. This is what the Kraken embodies. You must decide upon which domains you think suit best for underwater battles. There are not many.
What should we know about the technical aspects of battling underwater? I've never done it before.
There are... Fire is not as effective underwater. And I'm going to put a thing out here as far as lightning damage goes underwater. Everyone wants lightning damage to work underwater, right? Because do something cool underwater. So, and previously in other games say that like it makes the target and the caster vulnerable to lightning and both take the damage. I'm still working out what would be best and what is, so I thought that maybe there is anyone within the potential radius of a lightning-based spell attack will take the lightning damage and be considered vulnerable. So let's say a caster casts Shocking Grasp underwater, hits the guy, anyone within 5 feet of the caster, including the caster, maybe not the caster, because if you think about it, like they're shooting lightning from their hands, not getting hurt. So maybe, probably the caster too. So I'm thinking maybe lightning people who are harmed by lightning are vulnerable, but it affects everyone in the potential radius. Because that's how lightning works. When you put it in water, it's everything all at once. I'm still working on that mechanic, but technically magical lightning isn't supposed to do anything different, which sucks. People say ranged attacks only work at their most basic. I'm gonna get up the rules from the War Combat. I'm asking some video info.
My freedom of movement's actually going to come in handy.
Oh yeah, good handy. It says, when it comes to melee weapons, there are only certain weapons that are normally effective. Spears, tridents, short swords, daggers, and javelins will function normally underwater. Everything else, it will be at a disadvantage to try and utilize. As for ranged attacks, really only javelins and nets function normally underwater. Anything else would be at a disadvantage, and you'll only be able to fire it within your normal range of attack, not long range. Otherwise, it'll be an automatic miss. It's also worth noting that everything has resistance to fire underwater.
What about radiance?
Radiance functions fine, as do all the other magics, poisons, acids, and so on.
What about these hands?
Those would be at a disadvantage as well. As they, have you ever tried to punch underwater? Sal?
No, you're right. It's hard. It makes sense, but Silenos has been bulking, so I don't know. Maybe he's strong enough.
I shouldn't have a problem down there. I don't believe Valerie would either.
Oh, they're just bring it on, bitch. I mean, not you, miss. I was just kind of like, in general, sorry. Athena's like, anyway.
Oceanus, what is he like,
Planning to have tea then, Alicia.
But what does his belief? What is he prone to? Is he prone to rage or misdirection or?
He is like the ocean, and he is ancient. To describe his personality to you, to put it in simple terms, he is dominating, and he is powerful, and he does not intend to bow or even listen to mortals. I imagine he would consider you all to be more like cattle. And frankly, you probably don't belong in the ocean. I imagine he means destruction upon anyone who does not belong in the ocean. Wrathful. He very much subscribes to his brother's philosophies of titanic dominance.
What sustains him?
What was that?
Is there something that we can threaten, or perhaps can cajole the Kraken into threatening, that would get his attention and focus it externally briefly enough?
As I said, he does not think much of the normal mortal folk of the Greek world. I imagine if a large enough fleet was brought into the ocean, he might personally enjoy destroying it himself. It would only be made right if there was enough bodies on those ships to make the slaughter worth it for him, of course. A couple hundred mortal souls, perhaps.
Or a few powerful ones. Trophies, perhaps.
Perhaps. You might also wish to make an example of a coastal city. It is surprising to me, perhaps, that he has not destroyed any of the coastal cities as of yet. Kronos seems to have a plan for them, is what I imagine, is why they're not destroyed as of yet. But perhaps Oceanus might be enraged for the resilience a city might show, such as Athens, and perhaps he might rise up to prove his ire and power and strike fear into the hearts of mortals, something that Poseidon would do.
I am having a thought. Does the Athenian navy yet survive?
It does. Athens is still quite strong and proud. They have served Hela faithfully throughout the war, which is appeased Blagameth and in turn the Titans.
What are you thinking, Gyasi?
Well, the mention of a fleet to sink and having the Kraken available as an add-on. But my thought is not to put the Athenian sailors to sacrifice. My thought is to ask Hades and see if there are any heroes in Elysium that would be willing to put themselves to the measure.
You would lure him out with a fleet of dead men, fool him into destroying that which is already spent.
Yep. And while he is so engaged, have the Kraken attack him, the ships, hopefully him. But in either case, that will certainly hold his attention.
There is one last thing that would draw his attention most certainly, and has already done so before, but I might remind you, Captain. The presence of the Demithots on the sea has always drawn the attention of Oceanus. You have been the ire and the bane of the Titans throughout this war. If he had an opportunity to destroy you once and for all, that would earn him great honor amongst the Titans and fulfill his own need to destroy you all. The Demithots themselves might make the right target.
Could one of the gods slip into Atlantis then and free Poseidon while we battle Oceanus?
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Perhaps with the aid of the Kraken?
Captain, do you think you could sneak in?
No. Well, yes, but no. My thought
Yes.
is that, yes, we put the Skyphios and the Demithots to sea with the Kraken held in reserve, while my father jailbreaks Poseidon.
The god of thieves, quite good at mischief,
Quick.
very fast.
And if that goes well enough, that would bring Poseidon in, leaving the battle significantly more balanced. Because we've already seen that sometimes the battle goes to Poseidon, sometimes it goes to Oceanus
The
with
mission was to rise from the sea, to confront you all on the ship, above water, and perhaps even closer to land, or at least near a series of islands where good footing could be had. Many gods could contribute a lot better than, say, thousands of miles underwater.
They can fight where we want them to.
Atlantis, yes.
and an island that already has a significant temple structure would be handy. I can think of one, at which point Yasu would go, but I can't ask the person who actually has a vested interest in that particular locale, which would be Katara.
You may speak to Katara of this, perhaps. If she'd be willing to put her own cultists on the line. Perhaps even Hecate might be convinced to join the battle if her own disciples were to be put at risk.
Have-
Where is in the
In the central Aegean, far from Atlantis, but not too far, so Poseidon may monitor its hiding place. It has been sealed away long ago by we gods, in such a way that wouldn't surprise me if the Titans weren't even aware of its existence. Other than legend, of course.
Could the Titans have tamed the Kraken to their own ends?
Perhaps quite chillingly, Athena laughs, which is not something you see. And she looks at you and goes, to tame the Kraken would be like take lightning from Zeus. It is a creature of wild, chaotic malice. Does not exist this idea of taming the Kraken. You simply direct it and no more.
There's a good chance they probably have it under guard, similar to Poseidon.
It guards itself, from what we were told by Poseidon. His prison was designed as such that sailors lost at the sea would be drawn to its power and warped by it, and in doing so would become both its servant and its jailer. A devious design by Poseidon, I was quite impressed.
Get what we would need for this to incite Oceanus out to a battle of our choosing. First, we would have to release the Kraken and make sure it follows our instructions. It is directed the best it can.
Choose the battlefield is to win the battle. Many wars have been lost because they did not know their footing. To draw Oceanus from the sea would be the best way to defeat him, though I have no idea how one would achieve such a thing. He is a wise and ancient Titan. You would be so foolish as to leave it. But perhaps it can be brought to its most crushing depths. He has done so before, in the Skypius, or your previous ship, the Daedalus.
Could there be a way to bring him from the depths?
That's great.
I miss the daddy list.
That's great. That's so great.
Flew right over right over my head.
I think Gyasi might be onto something. No
Gyasi's
one.
certainly used to draw it from the deepest depths. Is it to create it themselves, or perhaps Athenians, or at least ships?
I'm sorry, was that Ryan? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Gyasi's plans were sound, perhaps drawing it somewhat from the sea with either the Skypios, Demithots, or the Athenian ships.
Or both.
Or more chance there is he'll come.
If the Kraken is as wild and wrathful a creature as you describe, we would need perhaps a god could help direct its destruction.
I'm not worried about directing its destruction. We simply need to give it a piece of information. And that information is that Oceanus has intent to subjugate it. It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be possible. But if you are a sentient thinking creature of that much wrath, subjugation would draw your ire like nothing else.
After being imprisoned for many hundreds of years, I expect that you're right tenfold. I can assure you that it probably does not think well of the gods, as we are the ones who imprisoned it for so very long.
That's the other thing. Even if we can use the Kraken to defeat Oceanus, we would still have a Kraken on the loose to put away.
We'll leave that to Poseidon, perhaps. The ends justify the means to finish this war once and for all, I say. And we have imprisoned it once before. We can do it again, once the death is done.
And I'm apologies. I just realized something. If we did bring Oceanus to the surface, that would bring it under the eye of Hyperion.
It is possible that Kronos may decide that the loss of Oceanus is too great and bring Atlas to bear on the battlefield, and we would have. I doubt that much of the battlefield would be left in the end. It'd be good if we had the gods on standby in case of the arrival of Atlas.
Gyasi, now that I think of it, you may have been right the first time. It might be best to blind Kronos fully before we proceed beneath the waves.
If there are prisoners that are in mortal peril and are of Thalia's heart, those will take precedence.
Thank you, Gyasi.
Then let us proceed. You have made many plans, and many sound ones. Now it is simply a matter of determining which one that you will follow.
Well, the first question is the question of fate. I'm disinclined to put the living crews of the Athenian navy as sacrifices, whether they're willing or not. It is not right to put them in that position.
It would be very convincing to bring Hades to bear such a mighty army. As always, the intention of the heroes of Elysium would be given paradise for all time. Everything from that paradise to be possible. It has always been a strict one when it comes to humans.
Well, I think after his action, he owes us one.
Entirely possible.
could go to the underworld anyway.
What is the point of this? There is a fifth titan that we have not seen yet in the war. One that will also need to be dealt with eventually whenever he decides to rise his ugly head. Hephaestus, god of death, the titan of death is lingering somewhere. We think in the underworld, but we know not where entirely. He will appear sooner or later, and he will need to be dealt with also. Perhaps he has some leads on them also. Return to the underworld might bear us fruit. We do have here on Olympus a more direct route into the underworld than what Helios travels.
What is this titan's name?
Impetus.
Impetus. Impetus.
He is a mighty bastard, Impetus. Has been quite a challenge to deal with in the past. But dealt with we did.
Is there any reason why Impetus would be hiding away for now?
Waiting for the right moment to strike. I have no doubt he has designs upon claiming the Palace of the Dead from Hades at some point. Perhaps he needs to garner support from the dead for laying siege. Much dominion over the dead as Hades does, though he does not hold as much power at court. That does have weight in the underworld. Finding by hand out of Tartarus if he was still down there. I cannot say. It would be better to ask Hades himself. Your friend Katara's requirements. And you wish to, if your friend has requirements of the underworld and you wish to return, seek audience with Hades and possibly determine if he might help in this siege, perhaps that is where you must go. Things are well in hand right now here. It may be good if Olympus could get some information on the status of the search of Hephaestus anyway. Up to you. What to do.
I think that may be wise. I don't think that as laudable as we may be, I don't think we're irresistible bait.
True.
But
Thalia, are you bad when he says this?
I feel like a fleet with us at the vanguard would present such a target.
With many allies to call upon. Find out which ones are your favorites. In this moment, Hermes arrives as a flash. He appears, and he goes, "Okay, I'm back, finally. Sorry it took so long, we've been busy." He looks to you, Gyasi, he's going to hand you you can hold it in one hand, but it looks somewhere between like a pot and a reliquary at the same time. It definitely has like gilding to it, and he hands it to you. It's in your palm like so. He says, "You asked for this for a while back. It was tough to get it on hand. There's a lot of planes to travel through, but finally got that blooded palace you were asking for."
Oh, awesome. That is fantastic.
Yeah, no problem. Anything else I was supposed to deliver? I think I got everything. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I was going to. I was going to ask what he thought of our plan, but very well.
I'll
The
ask
god
him
of
later.
expediency.
Too slow.
Too slow.
Well,
I'll ask him later. That's not untypical.
Oh.
Thalia, if I've heard the stories correctly, your mother emerged from sea foam, correct? Could she somehow play a role in helping us with Oceanus, perhaps by guiding the Kraken at least? Not controlling it, but at least guiding it?
I'm sure she could. Too.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Thalia.
Okay.
Okay. Aphrodite is indeed considered, in a very minor sense, but nonetheless, a god of the sea. She was born from the sea. She's often depicting on the seaside. When she arrives, she smells of the sea. To the Titans, or at least especially to Oceanus, the claiming of the god of beauty would be a great victory. The Titans, much like their children, have, how do I put it? They put a certain value on beautiful women.
As we've noticed.
So they all do have wives, but that doesn't mean they, you know. Anyway, point being, the goddess of beauty, who's also the goddess in small part of the sea, quite the right target to Oceanus. Be quite determined to add to his.
We use. Never mind. I don't know. My people's fleet as bait or my mother's bait.
But why not both?
No,
I can-
she's too pretty.
I can get your mother out nearly instantaneously.
You can what? Sorry?
I can get your mother out and back to Olympus almost instantaneously.
And she also might be able to help us persuade and control the Kraken.
Good. If the
Will pipe in and say, I would be cautious. Even the goddess of love has her limits. Kraken has great hatred, I expect, for us for our imprisoning of it.
Love knows no bounds, Athena.
We might be surprised. Thalia.
Kraken,
No. She says. No. Take inspiration, that's funny. No.
Athena,
Yeah.
forgive me for asking again, but the Kraken it's not a creature of nature, correct?
Is a monster that was created by the gods. But then again, wasn't everything created by the gods? So what is natural, Alicia?
I was thinking perhaps since its bestial nature, perhaps the god of the wild could help.
I think it would be.
Just spitballing.
I think it would be exceptionally short-sighted based
Very well.
on what I have heard in stories of the Kraken to assume its nature is bestial. It is wrathful and it is intelligent. as much so as almost anything that was created by the gods.
It is very true, Gyasi.
It
It was
holds a grudge.
it is a
So
child
that
of powerful gods. It carries with it their not only their power but their minds as well. It is
so my question is, how do we transfer that ire from the gods to Oceanus? What could do that?
What you just suggested, that Oceanus intends to capture it, or, well,
Subjugate it.
subjugate, that was the word.
I am reminded of one of our own legends, of a woman named Pandora, who was presented a box, and the temptation was far too great, and she opened the box and released great evils upon humanity. Perhaps
Can
Kraken
only
might
hope remain.
Pandora's box.
Sorry, say that again.
Perhaps the Kraken might be Oceanus's Pandora's box.
Is the Kraken in spades?
No, that's not a half bad idea. If we were to sail the Scythios as if we were headed to the Kraken, the only thing, if I were titanically intelligent, the thing that would cross my mind is that they have some key, because it doesn't necessarily hold that he knows what power and control Poseidon has over the Kraken, just that he has it. Certainly he has heard that Olympus has been returned to the Olympians. Us returning to the sea, going to that place, I can only think that the jump to conclusion would be, I will show them. I will get there. I will dominate this being of the sea and release it and enforce my will upon it, which might be exactly what we're looking for.
Considering the Kraken was created after the fall of the Titans, stands that there's probably a low chance that the Titans are even aware entirely of its abilities or mental faculties, other than what mortal legends are spread here and there, which is that it is a Goliath and also creature of the sea, capable of great destruction.
That puts as little at jeopardy as humanly possible. It plays into the ego, and it plays into the wrath. And that might be enough.
Gallagher's notes. Don't thought much. Many plans lie before you, many possibilities. I would have you all find the rest on it, speak of it more later on. I believe as the sun sets, you have certain relics to acquire regardless.
Well, I think we should absolutely take an opportunity and talk to Katara, Hecate, Hades, because if we can get the extra bait at low cost, you get the extra bait at low cost. Because
Talking to
putting to sea with more bait than you need is rarely a bad choice.
we can talk to
Acquire information regarding the status of the Hephaestus hunt. That would be most helpful to the Olympians in the war.
Absolutely.
And no
So-
doubt that it is Kronos' intention to reclaim one of the planes for his domain. It might even be possible that he is hiding in the depths of the sea alongside Oceanus. So, if you were to reclaim the underworld through Hephaestus, well, we would be back to where we started, wouldn't we?
Yeah, that would be a problem.
That would be a problem indeed.
perhaps during checking in on the underworld and finding information about Hephaestus would be the best solution for now. Best course for now.
I think that's the best immediate course.
Okay.
Thank you. Just doing your wisdom, yeah.
Thalia, yep. Name your gifts from Hephaestus. I'm waiting for you, I'm sure. You guys can ascend, if you wish, from the depths of the archives of Athena, the greatest stores of knowledge.
Um,
And Thalia applies because walking isn't for her.
I would ask that Athena, if we might speak privately now or later.
Absolutely, Alicia. You have something to say.
I would simply like to speak with you.
Okay. Claim your relic and then return. Claim your relic and then return.
I'm sorry.
Claim your relic and then return.
Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. Sorry, my hearing shit. You are known as the great strategist of the gods. What was that, Ryan? I'm sorry.
Oh, we're talking anyway? Very well.
Okay, no. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you said.
Then fuck off. Go get your cool shit. Come back maybe later.
Apologies.
All good. All good. Alright, you guys want to go to Hephaestus' forge and claim your super cool items?
Sure.
You guys head down, you make your way along the many paths, and it is a long walk across Olympus, as it always is, to get from one place to the next. Aphrodite sees you all heading into Hephaestus' forge. It kind of has like a kind of look to her, like, whatever. Whatever. And you guys head into the forge where it seems some things have been created. And you see the owl sort of flying around in like a very perfect circle in the air, clockwork. And he goes, hey guys, You come back? Are you ready? You ready to get your things? I'm all done. Okay, first, I'll give you this, and he will give it back to you, or actually, he'll give you a box, and inside of it will be the apple of discord, polished to such a green that you can see your face, and then you find yourself dazzled by it. Thalia, almost charmed by it, and just the splendor and beauty of discord. It's gorgeous relic. It's polished now, just like it was in the Trojan War. Anyone who beholds it won't merely have to just kind of attack one another, not really understand what's going on, but they'll like really decisively try to kill each other now for like probably a solid minute or until they come to their senses. And it's pretty tough for them to come to their senses. I mean, when it was first thrown in there, it was like the gods started fighting. They couldn't do anything about it. But it overcomes legendary resistances. So I think it's a pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, who wants the next one?
Like an item.
If you refresh your page, it should have updated stats. Oh, cool. Should. No. Saving throw.
Yeah.
Legendary resistances don't work. They have to beat the fuck out of each other for a minute. Cool. Amazing. Great. What? Who's next?
I will go up and quietly accept and.
Oh yeah, yours. Yours was Yeah, you're trying to like quietly accept him. He just starts talking. He doesn't, So yours was strange. I've never really seen that kind of item before, which was exciting. There was a lot of like latent power from some kind of primal magic, so I burned through that and was able to inlay it with some of my some magic from my forge. So hopefully things will be a little bit more fire. He presents back to you the staff, Alicia. And it looks just like the Staff of the Woodlands, except it looks like it was on fire and it's just gone out. It's like charred, like there's like cracks along the side of it, and there's char throughout those cracks. The actual green leaves at the top are burned away, and there's just like almost like a constant sort of sizzle at the top. It very much looks like he lit it on fire and now, post being on fire. There's a couple of leaves that sort of are like actively on fire at the top, but Valerie looks at it like she's very happy to be taking off her in this moment. But he hands it back to you and goes, "Oh no! I promise it's way better than it used to be. I tuned to it. I promise you're going to be impressed with what I can do. It doesn't look as nice as I usually like it to be, but I didn't do a lot of working with wood, and it was from some kind of other extra planar wood that
I simply smile and say thank you, Lord Hephaestus, and bow and take it back, and I guess I'll attune to it later tonight and see how it.
It's called the Cursed Flame. He burns your arc.
The cursed flame day, like extend the cursed flame day.
Okay, she sort of bickers at you off to the side, and Festus is like, "Yeah, Silenos, I got yours. I think you're gonna really like it. Okay." What's that?
I'll just like appear right beside him from invisible.
I don't know what you just did, but it was cool. He is going to go over to this box, and he opens it up, and he pulls up these two long strips, like very long strips of blood-soaked cloth. So pull them out. They're blood-soaked, but not like they're dripping wet. Like they look like they've been stained.
They've seen battle. Yeah.
But thoroughly stained, as if he had like dunked them in a vat of blood and left them out to dry. He holds them back to you, he hands them over to you. He goes, "Okay. These are the wraps of blood. They were, don't worry about the blood, where it came from. It's not important. What's important It says that it does what you said, and a couple of other things. Blood should be able to empower you and give you more vitality. It should be able to help you like, do a couple of extra good punches, maybe even help you travel across the battlefield instantaneously here and there, and should make your ability to like punch people and stun them out a lot more effective. You can add the wraps of blood to your inventory. They provide a +3 bonus to your key.
Oof, awesome. Yeah, he'll just he'll put them on and he will just give Hephaestus a hug because he's always been close with Hephaestus. He'll just say, thank you. This will do work in your glory."
Oh well, I hope. Thanks.
Yeah, and then Silenos is just gonna tear off and he's gonna start training with them immediately.
Yeah, you start like getting ready for fucking, start wrapping that shit up. Just because I'm excited about them, I want to tell you the stats. So it provides the following stats. When you finish a short or long rest, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the number of key points you possess. Your key save DC increases by +3. You're going to have to add that to your sheet manually. I couldn't find a way to do that through the homebrew section, so you're going to have to do that manually. You can cast Misty Step as a bonus action, obviously. And you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest, or until you score a critical hit. Awesome. That's cool. Lastly, when you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you can make the attack a ravenous strike, which deals an extra 66 necrotic damage, and you regain hit points equal to the amount of necrotic damage you dealt. You can only use it once per long rest. Or until you make another critical hit. Okay.
That's dope. Yeah, Silenos will just start wrapping his gloves and he will just get ready to go start training.
Wrap some around your antlers, wrap some around your hooves. With that, you guys have all received your items, and he's going to look pretty happy with himself, as most of you seem happy with what you received.
Hephaestus.
So.
You mentioned I could have some armor.
Oh, yeah, what did you want?
Heroic cuirass?
Yeah, here. And he will provide you with the heroic cuirass, which I believe is essentially like a breastplate, right? Or no, it's like a half plate with no disadvantage on stealth, I think.
Yeah, it's in here. And I'll give the hide armor back to Valerie.
Yeah, absolutely. She happily puts on the rest of her clothing. And he provides you with this, it's really nice. Despite the fact that he claimed it would be pretty basic, he provides you this very nice hero cuirass that depicts the 3 fates on the front of the plate. And he tells you that it also has a gleaming enchantment to it, so it'll never get dirty.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, your mom used to like that. Never mind.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. He looks at you, Gyasi, he goes, and did you wanted armor too, right?
Yeah, that would be good.
He will, and he had worked on that. He will provide you with what is essentially stud leather armor. He'll provide you heavy leather, in our terms, and yeah. But also, it is smoldering armor. He provides you this suit of armor. It's heavy armor that depicts like a ship, and it depicts like wings coming off the back of the ship. It's very sort of like Hermes mixes with sailor, but it also has wisps of harmless, odorless smoke that seem to rise from the armor as you put it on, made from the forges of Hephaestus. So it sort of has this smoky quality to it as you go. It'd be just very like
What does the owl do?
Goes, oh, it flies.
Have,
What,
have you,
what else should it be? Is it not? Should I? Is that? Should it be doing something more? Probably do something more to make it talk or try and find what you can do.
I just expected from it is all. It's fine. It's lovely thing.
It like flies down so you can pivot its route, and it doesn't just take it. It kind of like the down looks like very glum.
have,
He's such an ass.
What did you name it?
have you decided on a name?
I was gonna name it Roswell.
Roswald?
Yeah, but I mean,
That's a fantastic name.
It's good to meet you, Roswald.
it sort of like goes. It sort of like opens its wings and its head does like a 100 like a 360 rotation, kind of does like a whoop, whoop, and then goes back to its neutral state. That's what it looks like. Goes back to holding something.
I, I, I think it likes the name Roswald.
The same thing again. It goes whoop, whoop, and does like a head turn, and then it goes back to neutral.
See, it likes it.
Is there anything else you guys needed?
I will bow to Hephaestus and begin leaving. I'm going to try attuning to my staff and see if it still works or not.
All right.
If my short stick of a staff still works or not.
Feel it attempting to attune to you. Take some time to attune to it. I can't even get over how mean that was. You're so awful. You're so awful. So you attune to it. Your new staff is known as the Staff of Burning Wood.
Oh, oh wow! Staff of burning wood.
It is. It still has some magic from the lands of Gaia, but it has been turned into a staff of elemental power rather than a tool for understanding nature as it once was.
Okay, I can still do that on my own.
Out rather than say animal friendship, it has burning hands. It's got chain lightning, fireball in there now.
Chain lightning.
Yeah, so it's chain lightning. That's what happens when you're nice to Hephaestus. And it also has the ability to, when you cast a spell that deals bludgeoning, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage, and you roll a 1 on that damage die, you can re-roll the damage die for a new roll.
Holy shit! That's impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty good at what he does, Thalia.
Yeah, Thalia.
I'm not gonna tell you, give you the.
I don't know if it's later on in the night, but after I discover what my staff can now do, I will return to Hephaestus and speak of thank you. This is good. This is very good.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you think so.
The druids and the gods have been divided for a long time. I hope what you've made here is a symbol of a new future.
Oh wow. I didn't mean to do anything like that,
And yet you did.
uh,
I bow and thank him again.
I hope I don't get into trouble for this. And you just kind of, feel like goes back to work.
I was trying to be nice to him, okay?
He's just a real nervous guy. It's not your fault. He literally has a
Nervous
6 charisma.
Nelly.
He has a 6 charisma.
Oh wow.
He needs a hug.
He does need a hug, and he got one from Silenos, and it was great. It was the highlight of his whole week.
But yeah, holy shit, I got chain lightning now. Holy crap.
Yeah, Fireball, we got Chain Lightning, two spells Drew don't really get.
Yo, I'm digging this music.
I can't hear the music very well, so.
Roll 20. Fire.
Oh, it is! I was like, why has this cathedral music been going this entire session? I couldn't figure it out. But thank you for that. But anyway, now that I've figured that out at the end of the session, I think it's probably a good stopping point. We will call the session to an end there, and next week you can finalize your plans to make assaults on Oceanus, or perhaps return to the underworld and see what's going on there since last draft. And that is where we'll end the session.
Okay.
Cool.
So mean. I can't believe how mean that was. He's so happy with himself, and you're like, I expected more.
Oh, yeah, Thalia, why do you have to be so mean? Thalia's a mean girl.
Hephaestus has beef with my mom, so naturally I don't like him either.
It was like, she was cheating on him with the Ares.
Yeah, so.
Exactly. You ruined it for her. Like, you made it awkward. You should just let it be.